Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another wonderful episode of Thoughts from the Bench. See, Greg, it's that easy to say the right name sometimes.
You know that I don't know how many times you practiced that in the mirror to make sure you got that right and all, but I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you after the flub from last week. That's true.
Love.
Yeah, flub. What else do you want me to call it?
Not a
flub
flub.
was a really mean word.
Yeah, a flub makes it sound like it's like a genuine error.
Now, Derek, don't get huffy about it.
I don't get huffy. I get puffy. Greg gets huffy. It's very different.
I do get huffy.
Greg, I feel like you've made more flubs.
Name one flub I've made recently.
I would, but I couldn't hear you the past 4 shows because your fucking laptop.
Fair enough. I will gladly take that bullet and wear it and take it to the heart promptly.
Good. If anybody is curious, Greg is on his phone tonight. We're trying something new, and genuinely, Greg, it looks great.
I was a little hesitant about it because I have it sideways, leaned up against, and by the way, guess what I have supporting it from behind so it doesn't fall over on the side of my desk?
This is not the correct answer, but I'm going to say the phone charger that is also plugged in so that your phone doesn't die.
No, it is actually, my phone is not charged in. I have it on battery saver, so you're gonna
do this for 2 hours.
On battery saver? Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
I love this.
Get a freaking
No,
iPhone.
nope. Let him go. Let him go.
World. Why
Don't help.
You have an iPhone.
Don't help. I don't want.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Whatever. We're not sending out another invite if it does.
Okay.
Last week we saw all of our hopes and dreams go to die. But the NFL season kicked off, so that's a good thing, I guess. Everything sucks. Tonight we got the Eagles and the Vikings, and I'm just happy football's back.
I think we all are happy football's back. We have so much to discuss now, even if it's between college and the NFL. Just everything under the sun to basically discuss, and we have 2 hours to do it.
The NFL started?
We have until your phone dies.
That's true as well.
The NFL started? Are you sure?
Greg, you can handle that one.
I'm pretty sure we did, unless you were... What were you doing on Sunday, Josh, just out of curiosity?
I was making pierogies in preparation for something that I swear to God didn't happen.
I want to dissect that real quick.
Losing your virginity?
That didn't happen.
Still
hasn't happened. Been married for almost 7 years, still hasn't happened.
Shout out Jesus.
She's just been kind of holding it along with a string and just being like, hey, eventually holding on for hope, and then nope, just never gonna happen. I want to dissect the pierogi thing real quick because I'm very impressed by the fact that even though you are outside of the Western PA zone right now, you've decided to want to take on the challenge of mastering the art that many of our foremothers have done as well.
Wow, Greg just called me a girl. That was nice.
I don't think that's a real term.
Well, my grandmother was the one that taught me how to make pierogies.
No, I'm talking about foremothers, brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. My bad. I get the 4 parts.
It's 5 mothers.
Ah, okay.
Extra mom. Greg, it is precisely because I am out of Western Pennsylvania that I feel the desire to learn to make the art of a pierogi. Because it tastes like home.
It does.
So that's
Indeed,
nice.
It does.
Here's my spin zone.
Okay.
Rutgers, Wyoming, and Penn State are all undefeated.
So is Slippery Rock, who's ranked 13th in the Division II.
No shit. All right. Shout out the Rock.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. It's been a good week for everyone's teams now that I'm not an Alabama fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Didn't we establish? I'm pretty sure we established that you were going into the season as an Elephant fan.
Unless they suck. He definitely said true. Unless they suck.
Did you not hear that their thing is Roll Tide, idiot?
But you're blaming one game and then just waving in the flag? They can still win the SEC, bud.
No, they suck. They lost to Texas.
Why would I care if they won the SEC? They're not my team. They're terrible.
Okay, so who was your team then?
Why would I have one? I never went to a college that has one. Why would I claim ownership of something that isn't real?
It's true.
To give you some validity and something to cheer for during this college football season. Unless you're hopping on the Colorado bandwagon.
I mean, hear me out. Everyone should be.
That's true.
It's been the national game for Fox now 2 weeks, and I believe a third week in a row. So if you're not watching it,
is it
actually?
Yeah.
I don't know because it's a 10 o'clock game, so it might not be. But I know everyone under the sun is going to be in Boulder. Like, I know Game Day's there, Pat McAfee's there, First Take's going to be there. Even 60 Minutes is doing a feature there, too. Like, literally every single news entity you could think of is going to be in Boulder this weekend.
I think.
Well, we can definitely keep talking about it, but I'm thirsty really quick.
Okay.
Go, Josh.
Fair enough.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1, action. Go ahead, Josh.
I just think, thinking about Deion Sanders and his opponent this week, Colorado State, a.k.a. it sucks to be a CSU Ram, a.k.a. the rival of the hottest team in college football, the University of Wyoming Cowboys, who are headed to Austin to knock off the aforementioned Texas Longhorns. And I think after they do that, Derek, you should be a Wyoming fan. I know you at least have a Wyoming hat.
If Wyoming wins against Texas, I will claim Wyoming for the rest of this year. Because here's my thing. I hate Texas as an entity.
Ooh,
I freaking love Quinn Ewers, and that is on the most record of record takes. My love for Quinn Ewers has run deep, Greg, and I will not sit here. I want to literally bring up a point here that will make you both happy. I have a screenshot of a formal apology from Dre for saying that Archie Manning was going to make Quinn Ewers transfer.
Wow. Are you serious?
He said it in our group chat.
Can you frame that? Like, I would have that prominently displayed in the apartment sometime after that. That's glory. That is glorious right there. Yeah. And by the way, I'm proud of you for sticking with Quinn, because I thought after finding out that he cut the mullet and apparently turned his life around to Jesus or something, you might hop off the bandwagon a little bit. But apparently, but I'm glad they were sticking with him.
In just full clarification, what you said, I'm not gonna say that him finding Jesus and me going to church twice in the past 3 weekends coincide, but I may be going to church because of Quinn Ewers.
Listen, if Quinn Ewers gets you to discover a life of God and something to add more faith into your life in some way, then who are we to judge that?
Well, it's not the Steelers because I prayed for them.
So
that's fair as well.
So here's what I'm hearing. Lent is going to suck on the show this year.
Just for Greg.
Oh, you're not going to give up drinking for Lent?
Why would I give up drinking?
I don't know.
You give up stuff. No, Josh, that's the thing. Listen, as the person who's been to church the most recent here.
That's true.
Sure.
Lent is not. Yeah. Lent is not supposed to be some like, I just do it because I want. Like, it's supposed to be something that you genuinely should not be able to live without. And the fact that Greg does it is here's kind of where I'm at with it. It's a showboaty look at me move.
Greg.
How is it a showboat look at
Greg, healthy debate. Don't get huffy. Healthy
Angry
debate.
Yeah. Listen, all I know is that if this
we need a different terminology for that. What's another word for healthy? Organic.
Organic debate.
Discussion.
Organic debate? Okay.
Organic discussion.
Organic discussion. Listen, I don't know. I mean, like, if this was Lent currently and I wasn't allowed to drink this awesome collab between Mindful Brewing Company and Enjoy Wrestling right now, I'd be pretty pissed, just saying. So therefore, I consider it the fact that if this was Lent and I wasn't allowed to drink this, I'd be pretty pissed off. But me withholding the ability to not drink it shows resistance and shows my ability to maintain composure and self-will.
Organic discussion, you're drinking it. So that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, okay. Organic discussion. You do it every year because it makes you not have to go out on St. Patrick's Day and because you can come into the show and brag about it.
I'm not bragging about it on the show.
Whoa. Organic discussion, Josh.
Huffy flag.
Organic discussion. Wait, Huffy flag?
Huffy flag. You got Huffy.
Okay, fine. I'll dial it back a little bit. I apologize. I don't want to get huffy.
Well, you did.
I apologize. Yeah, the huffiness
Now
has
is your
got to
turn to
stop.
talk. Organic discussion.
Organic discussion. All right. I don't know. I consider it for me trying to take a step back and better my overall health because, as we all know, technically alcohol is poisonous.
Take a breath. You're getting huffy.
Organic discussion. Alcohol is technically
mild
water,
poison.
and you need water to survive, and there's yeast in there, so you could actually survive off a diet of just beer. It has been proven that you could just drink beer and survive. So
that's fair. Did you ever see there was a Netflix documentary called How Beer Saved the World, and
no.
It was just this
because we're having an organic discussion, and I'm not peeling away from this organic discussion to talk about some spin-off.
No, I'm not. But it's kind of funny that it makes sense that because beer was used, I believe, in Mesopotamian times for part of their diet to actually maintain their, keep food in them. So that's interesting. But it's still alcohol.
Thank you for proving my point. Organic discussion.
Still bad for you though. So,
then why are you doing it right now? Organic discussion.
Because I love this beer and I want to drink it and have a conversation organically or non-organically with my two best friends. What's wrong with that?
Where's the second one?
Over here.
Oh, I meant best friend. Organic discussion. I think you just do it because it's what Greg's doing, and I think it's going through the motions for you. And as a friend, it's my job to call you out. I think it's just motions. I think organic discussion. I think you're just going through the motions because that's what Greg is doing. Greg, it is Lent. Greg gives up beer. Greg gives up beer for Lent. No beer.
You know what? Organic discussion. Listen, you both know very well that I am a very routine-based person, and I do get off kilter
organic discussion. No fucking shit.
And when my routine is thrown off, I do get huffy. So that is kind of fair. So maybe me not giving up alcohol is therefore going to create huffiness from my perspective because I'm so used to it.
Organic discussion. Organic discussion. I'm proud that Greg admitted that he gets huffy, and I was able to hear Greg the entire way through that speech because he's on his phone. Organic discussion.
Organic discussion. I think you should challenge yourself more, Greg.
Organic discussion. What would be a more challenging thing to do during Lent then, as a way of trying to better my overall health?
That's a good organic counterpoint.
Mm-hmm. Organic discussion. I don't believe that's up for me to do. Me as a friend is to challenge you, not call out your vices. So give up organic discussion. Give up porn.
I don't really watch that much.
Organic discussion. That's ridiculous. You're a liar.
I'm not lying.
Yeah, that corporate computer, huh? All right, let's shimmy on down the road here. I think you're a phony, Greg. I love you. Let's talk about
my phone, so yes, I am.
Yeah, it's gonna die. I can't wait. We were listening to a lot of Day to Remember at work today. That's funny. You have that shirt on. Let's move along to let's do some general other sports conversations. There's just two things I want to discuss, and then let's get into college, and then let's get into NFL. Or did we have something else, Josh?
No. We have
nothing. Okay. I genuinely saw this come up. So obviously the entire scene has been set. I think it was Nole Brown, the runner, said that winning a world championship is not something you can do in a league, domesticated league. So, that was going around forever. Giannis came out, Josh, in support of that statement and was like, well, yeah, it's true. Like, this is not a world competition. A lot of comments going back at Giannis saying, well, nobody wants to go to Milwaukee and practice with you and your brother. And a Giannis statement came out that said, I will leave if there is a better opportunity to win. A lot of stuff this offseason about him questioning the Milwaukee Bucks' willingness to win.
Yeah, because there was the thing, I'm pretty sure that he skipped the deadline for being able to sign a 3-year extension on his deal and was quoted as saying that he wants the team to prove that they care about winning and investing in a culture for him. Hear me out. The Bucks are coming off like having the best record in the East last year. So I understand they fell flat in the playoffs, but how exactly is that not proving that the team is willing to do everything they can to try to continue and win more championships with him?
Because they just trotted out the same exact fucking roster.
Because it's him doing it, Greg. And that's not a sustainable business model in the NBA. You're going to kill yourself if Chris Middleton's your second best player.
interesting, but also Chris Middleton was hurt for most of the beginning of the year.
Exactly.
Could have taken him, and the fact that he was hurt and they still had the best record in the East, though, does kind of say that there's potential on that team, or at least there is.
He doesn't want potential, Greg. Look at the teams in the NBA. They are multiple superstar teams. Here's where I genuinely
Chris Middleton's
think
30 fucking 2. Jesus Christ.
Here's where I think he's coming from. Not a single rumor of the Bucks even attempting to get Dame. And I have nothing more than just the fact that I know Dame said Miami, and I get that. But we got dudes out here like Jalen Brunson going to the Knicks on big money that the Bucks could have used the guard position. Like, there is a legitimate point that Giannis is making here, which is, I know this team is okay. We did win a ring with this team. This team is now 2 years older than winning the ring. Mm-hmm. What are we doing to advance it?
Here's the big rumor. Milwaukee linked to Eric Gordon. What the
Eric fuck? Eric Gordon hasn't been relevant since he was at Indiana.
Okay,
but that's the point.
And I'm talking the college, by the way, not the Pacers.
Organic discussion. The Bucks haven't done fucking dick. They're going to continue to trot out the same beat-ass roster that they have for the past however many fucking seasons, which include, God love him, he's the best player on the team.
Brook Lopez?
Thank you. Everything just flashed in my room real quick. Okay. Brook Lopez, a 32-year-old Chris Middleton, and whoever happens to be standing on the street outside of the fucking arena that night also gets to play with them.
So Chris Middleton is 32, making 29 mil. Brook Lopez is 35, making 25 mil. Drew Holiday is 33, making 36 mil. Bobby Portis is 28, making 11 mil. Giannis is 28, making 45 mil. Grayson Allen is making 9 mil. Like,
everybody's getting paid.
Yeah.
And none of them are worth it.
When you win a ring, you are allowed to get paid. That is
always how it works. Not when your superstar says this is not enough. Sidney Crosby wasn't like, hey, pay everyone. Sidney Crosby said, I want 2 more fucking rings. They didn't pay everyone. And then they tried to go pay everyone after those 2 rings, and Sidney Crosby's like, why are you doing that? I'm not done winning. When the guy, the fucking star, this generational talent, says, I'm not done winning, and the organization goes, yes, you are, it's his right to move on.
So are you right now, as a Bucks fan, advocating or at least preparing for the eventual departure of Giannis Antetokounmpo then?
I've been preparing for that the second I purchased that jersey.
Yeah, how could you not prepare for it?
Like, there's no... And when he leaves, so will I. Like, we're done. We're cool. Because that's the guy that got me there. That's the guy I'm following.
So wait, are you now saying that you're not actually a Bucks fan, you're a Giannis fan?
Mm-hmm.
I think he always was.
Yeah, I don't think I ever really...
Well, I thought when you were staking your claim to try to figure out what fan you were, it was based on the team. It wasn't based on the player. Because we had the conversation about how I thought Portland actually would have been a good one for you at the time, but you decided to hitch your wagon to Milwaukee. Yeah. I didn't think it was a Giannis thing, though.
Yeah, Greg, look at okay, here's a counter argument to that, Greg. Josh, who's your college football team?
Which one?
Okay. Do you see the asterisk next to every time Josh picks a team? Yeah, when you select your team, you're allowed to move.
Right. Like, unless you were born with them. Like Penguins, Steelers, ride or die. Cubs, ride or die. Right.
I mean, Greg, who you have technically 2 BPL teams you like, don't you? Or is it just Southampton?
Just Southampton. I was forced to like Brentford on a bet this year.
Yes, which is totally fine. Like Sheffield and Tottenham. Like when you're not born into it, you are allowed to select in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you were born into Pitt, you just didn't go there.
Right. No, like I watched Larry Fitzgerald and I was hooked. I watched Brandon Knight and I was hooked. So
thank God he didn't go there.
Yeah, that's my allegiance. So
who's the guy back in the day with DeJuan Blair, the big name? Landry Fields?
Levance Fields.
Levance Fields, thank you. My buddy at work was talking to me about him the other day, and I was like, wow, what a pull. Anyways, back to it. I just wanted to bring up the Giannis stuff.
Yeah.
That's the one big one. And 2, the other side, let's flip back to the stickball sport. I'm still really interested where Shohei Ohtani ends up, and I think it's going to be the New York Yankees.
Well, here's the fascinating thing with Ohtani too is that like he might need TJ. So when
But
he
he can
gets
still
paid
bat, right?
he can still bat,
Okay.
yes, but you're going to be paying him. We have never seen this type of situation where a guy who's going to be a free agent can play both ways, right? So he's probably due for an unprecedented contract. But that team also has to take into account that, hey, you're not going to be able to get him for that first year as a pitcher. So how much does that play into how much money you offer him? How does that structure the contract? And how does that kind of work in your favor? Because with MLB contracts, yes, they're fully guaranteed, but you can also structure it in a way where like you don't have to pay that much up front. Or some guys would rather they pay as much as they could up front and then opt out and do it all over again and stuff. So this free agency situation for him is going to be fascinating. But with the Yankees, though, Deke, the Yankees are going to be crazy because they're not making the playoffs this year. Cashman might get fired. So there's going to be a huge overhaul with the Yankees, perhaps this offseason that we haven't seen in a while. And I'm curious to see what they do to fix that. And if it is getting Ohtani, that's going to be huge for them. But I see him staying on the West Coast, though. I think he likes it there.
I get that, but there two things. One, you can't deny the influence the Yankees have overseas. So you can't deny that he probably grew up wanting to play for the Yankees. I think I saw it somewhere. I was talking to a couple of baseball guys who were bringing that up.
I think
out of Japan, it's a big thing to play for the Yankees.
Oh yeah, I think anyone growing up playing baseball probably at one point wished they could play for the Yankees. Even if you weren't a fan, there was probably part of you that always still kind of like daydreamed about it.
And two, I would almost
Matsui.
Shout out Hideki Matsui.
Fuck
Matsui. Yeah. And two, you can't tell me that there is going to be a team that does not pay him what he would have gotten without TJ to outbid everyone else. The Dodgers will pay him what he deserved before. So, like, I don't care too much about TJ, and that's because if you want him, pay what he's worth, which is without the TJ. But I'm with you that is a variable.
Oh, yeah. Like, listen, like, there's always teams that overpay guys every single year. The Angels are actually, like, the biggest prime example of overpaying guys. The Anthony Rendon contract, the Albert Pujols contract, like, the Josh Hamilton contract, like all of them were stuff that way. The Red Sox like gave some ridiculous contracts out there too because they had the money for it. Like there will absolutely be a team that overpays for Shohei Ohtani, but in the end, it's not really much of an overpay when you think about probably the guys winning the American League MVP, and he definitely earned it. And you're paying for the potential of having a guy that can pitch every 5 days and bat every day for you, which is an anomaly. In baseball.
Great.
So how do you put a price on that?
Yeah. Who's legitimately in the running? Like who's got that cash? Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, maybe. Like who else?
Cubs, maybe. Red Sox, perhaps, because they did kind of like slash their budget a lot, so they maybe might.
They're for sale.
Has that actually been announced that they're for sale?
Yeah, Fenway Sports Group is trying to get out. So I don't know that they would make a big move with that much capital unless they're going to sign it hopes that it raises the value of the team. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah. Other teams, the Rangers, they just spent a shit ton of money on guys last season, and they're finally seeing the fruits of their labor by being in the playoff race this year. So they're due. The Mariners are another team that everyone's pointing to that he might go to because he loves Seattle. And
what I'm seeing, Josh, is that Fenway Sports Group's they fired a senior figure at the Red Sox.
Yeah, Kyle Bloom, their chief baseball officer. It's not general manager, it's chief baseball officer for some reason. But he got fired. He got fired today. Yeah.
Brian Olaharaho, whatever the fuck his name is, GM, has been offered a new senior leadership position with the new operations department at MLB franchise.
That was I had heard that because they were talking about Liverpool not spending as much.
Yeah.
Now Liverpool, that's the one that I've heard them like trying to like sell some stake in.
Oh, they're trying to sell. Okay,
They're
interesting.
they're trying to sell some stake in Liverpool. Like Red Sox, I haven't heard them like getting out of, but Liverpool, I've definitely heard them like maybe trying to offload a little.
Okay, yeah, I had heard because the shout out Redman TV, no free shout outs. They talk a lot they were talking a lot in the summer that they weren't expecting Liverpool to make moves because the Fenway Sports Group doesn't have the cash flow that they want or something like that, and that they were looking to offload pieces of their franchises and all that other kind of stuff. But
Interesting.
Then, I don't know, they went out and bought fucking Carlson for the Penguins this year, so who knows?
Yeah, but you got to assume those funds are different for maybe not different the whole way, but hockey's such a small cap.
True.
That you would assume that if they're leveraging their sports the right way, they could spend in hockey and still not lose money anywhere else.
In theory, they can't because they can only spend so much in hockey anyway.
Yes,
whereas in baseball and soccer, they can spend an unlimited amount of money. So
yeah,
good point. Good point.
Yeah, but here's the thing too with the Red Sox though. Like the last couple of years, they were like cutting back and like cutting their payroll significantly because of the fact that their contracts got pretty bloated. So I could kind of tell that maybe they were trying to offload a lot of those deals, and that's why they've kind of, I don't want to say regressed necessarily, but haven't been World Series contenders for a while. So like, because I think in the 5 years that Bloom's been there, I think they only made the playoffs once, and that was before the expanded playoffs format anyway. So I don't know.
Let's revisit this one more time here. Okay, so Dodgers are always in the mix.
Yes.
That keeps them in California, and the Dodgers have a roster that is competitive where if they added a Shohei Ohtani, they would not just be competitive, they would be juggernauts.
Yeah.
Yankees are booty right now. Their roster is in shambles. Are they really going to go out and get a Shohei Ohtani as the Band-Aid? Or is this part of a giant rebuild? I guess with the Yankees, they have enough money that it could be anything.
Right.
Outside of that,
worth $6 billion more than the Pirates. That is a crazy stat.
It's insane that they play in the same fucking league.
The word B.
Yeah, billion.
That's 1,000 millionaires per Kanye West.
I bet I would love to know what the different or what Alabama football is worth versus pick any Mountain West school other than Boise. Pick San Diego State. Or San Jose State, either one of those two.
This is a 2018 okay, wait, here we go. A 2022 seems to be 2023. Alabama's insane $33 million profit proves Nick Saban's value. At nearly $7 million annually, Alabama head coach Nick Saban carries a price tag. He has brought in Nick Saban's program had 53.3 million surplus with the revenues of 95.3 million.
So that's just money that they've brought in. That's not like necessarily talking about their worth.
In 13-14, they had $120 million in expenses.
Wait, 13-14? So like a decade ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine what their expenses are now. Holy shit.
Infinity logo.
So yeah, so like even if you put the expenses in and they still generated that much revenue and they made that much of a profit, I can't imagine how much they're spending like per year just on football. I do wish there was there has to be like a study to be able to determine like what college brands are worth a lot, because I would imagine like because I would imagine you have to put it in like the whole context of like not just football, but you have to put it in context of like basketball and like every other sport imaginable.
Here's the
you can't tell me Kentucky and Duke hoops that aren't worth like a lot in terms of like brand.
You can't tell me Duke. I would say Duke basketball might be 20th on the list, and the other 19 are football programs.
Okay, hang on.
Okay,
Greg, check this out.
That's just a guess.
Okay, so just to give context, right? Wyoming's getting paid $1.85 million to go play Texas this weekend.
Oh yeah, like those like non-conference like smaller schools ones, those are huge, and that 1.85 million like probably pays for a lot of shit. It
funds the program for the year.
Yeah, basically.
So maybe the whatever the fuck you want to say that word is, between the Pirates and the Yankees is not as, or is bigger than college football have-nots, but still.
So this article has the 15 top colleges in revenue in 2022. Ohio State 251 at 1.
Duh.
Texas 239,
Duh.
Bama 214,
Duh.
Michigan 210,
Duh.
Georgia 203.
Duh.
The Penn State 118.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. Let's see Duke basketball, because I personally don't think there's enough there because the tournament is what makes the most money, right?
Right.
Yeah. Something else to point out too, with Texas having that high of a revenue generator, they're still getting paid for the Longhorn Network.
Oh, dude, for sure. They're able literally. There's an NIL deal where if you go there and you're a lineman, you get $10,000.
Yeah, like
that is just.
And let's not forget, and let's point out too, the Longhorn Network is probably one of the biggest wastes of money in sports history. When you think about it.
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't hate that take.
What was my? I don't remember. Doesn't
matter. Okay.
Okay.
Let's dive into college football for the half-hour mark here.
Sure.
Big games we want to discuss. I think we would be stupid not to start with Colorado.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that Deion Sanders is the face of college football now?
I don't think it's fair to say. I think you have to say it. For 3 straight weeks, we have not been able to talk about anything else other than the name Sanders and the name Hunter. And you can put a 2X next to the name Sanders.
I was not considering Shedeur Sanders as a potential first-round quarterback prospect coming into the season, and after week 1, after he dropped 500 yards against TCU. I understand TCU is probably overrated, but you drop 500 yards against TCU on the road, and you do it with such beautiful accuracy the entire time. My God, I was stunned to see that. And then last week, I'll be honest, I watched probably I watched all the first half of the Nebraska game. It was ugly, by the way. It was just an ugly beginning of the game. But then the third quarter came around, and they just absolutely stomped on their neck because Jeff Sims, the quarterback for Nebraska, couldn't hold a football for his life. Just kept fumbling it on the snap. It was awful.
But this will go down, in my opinion, as one of the greatest quarterback classes of all time. There will be a record number of quarterbacks in the first round this year. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Quinn Ewers, J.J. McCarthy, Shedeur Sanders, the kid out of Washington, Penix Jr. You're looking at there's 4 more that I'm not even thinking of right now that I'm scrolling through a mock draft trying to think of other names here.
And there will be guys that will probably play well or have measurables that coaches will hype up and all that, and will sneak in the first round and stuff like that. But not even first round. Think about this past draft class where we had so many quarterbacks just drafted because everyone wanted to take a quarterback on day 3, and probably for good reason. Imagine how many quarterbacks are going to be taken throughout the draft. This is a very deep class. Sam Hartman's going to be a day 3 pick probably.
That's my favorite guy on the planet. I think Quinn Ewers is the guy that I would ride or die for. Sam Hartman is the guy that I would invite over for Thanksgiving dinner. I freaking love that kid. And I'm not mad at you for it. I'm glad you said it, but I love him.
No. I know. I can't stand Notre Dame, but I do like him though. I think he's a solid quarterback.
Coming out here, Greg, quarterbacks in this last draft: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 quarterbacks drafted last year.
Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Riley Leonard, Jordan Travis, Quinn Ewers, Jaden Daniels, KJ Jefferson. I didn't know he was a JJ McCarthy.
Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah, that's 10.
Dude, Riley Leonard looks great. Jordan Travis has that team firing on all cylinders. J.J. McCarthy is doable. Joe Milton has the biggest arm in the class, and someone's going to ride or die for that. Jaden Daniels leading LSU down there. It's kind of scary how many quarterbacks could go here. I mean, guys, Spencer Rattler's right there too.
Oh no, shut up.
Yeah. And
Tyler Van Dyke.
Dude, he absolutely cooked
Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him.
I mean,
Let's not forget
Kyle
he's
McCord
a
out of
national
Ohio State.
champion. At UCF, he was a national champion.
Josh, have you ever seen a picture of Cameron Rising, Utah's quarterback?
Oh fuck yeah, Cam Rising too, huh?
Yeah.
Shit.
That flow is something. I'll give you that.
DJ up at Oregon now.
Oh,
Oregon
he is at Oregon State. Yeah, that's right. He was also drafted in MLB. He was like taken in the last round.
No way.
By the way.
Good
Oh
for
yeah.
him.
He should probably go play baseball because football's not going to work out for him like it did his brother.
I actually don't. You know the weird thing is, I don't even think he plays. I don't think he plays for Oregon State.
Who's his brother?
Baseball.
Ugalele. I thought he did have a brother.
Maybe. I don't.
I mean, I'm assuming, Josh, but like when I first heard Uiagalelei, that is literally the only Uiagalelei I've heard.
So Mateo Ugalele was grabbed headlines after being ranked 19 in the 2023 class. I think.
No, no. I've got Tua's brother fucked because they were both at Clemson, and DJ's the one that came in.
Oh yeah, Tua's brother played for Maryland.
Yeah, he was at Maryland.
Right? Okay, I don't know why I have it all fucked up.
DJ was the year after T-Law. But on the Netflix show QB1, DJ Ugalele did replace the Iowa State prospect kid who sucked titties and not the good kind. Also, Jalen Monroe. He's going to the draft. God.
This quarterback class is going to be nuts.
Gonna be record-breaking, man.
Oh yeah, even if you have a starting quarterback and you're set for there, you should invest a pick in this class just for the sake of getting a body, because I think you're going to be happy with what you get.
And not to transition, but has Jordan Love not taught us at this point already that it's okay to let a guy sit? If you're the Minnesota Vikings, right, and you've got Kirk, and you're like, this class, I should probably go waste my first-round pick, even though that's not going to help me win right now, to go get the guy.
Yeah, I think it depends where they finish, but I don't hate it. I mean, you look at the first round. I mean, Caleb Williams, 1. Drake May, 2. Quinn Ewers right there. Shadai Sanders right there. Penix right there. McCarthy right there. Leonard right there. Like, there's potential for 7 guys to go in the first round just because of what we're seeing out of these young quarterbacks in the NFL. So if I'm them, potentially Dallas, even though they traded for Trey Lance, you're looking at some of these kind of deeper, later running teams that are all doing real well. I don't hate it. I mean, it's a shorter list to tell me what teams don't need a young, good quarterback.
Yeah.
And for that, just look at who got paid.
Yeah, or even like it's looking at guys who were just drafted within probably the last 2 years that you're still planning to work out, you're planning to ride on and stuff. What?
If you're the Jets, you might be looking.
Oh, I was more referring to like if you're the Colts and you just draft Anthony Richardson, you're gonna take another quarterback early. I don't know about that.
If it's Drake May,
not a bad take.
If it's Drake May, I think
Remember when Greg wouldn't bet me that Drake May would get drafted behind Quinn Ewers?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to like lock myself into a potential injury and then get screwed on the back end.
No, you never brought injuries up once in that debate.
That's what I was thinking. I just didn't say it.
Okay, so you didn't believe injuries then? Yep.
Well, no, I did, but also for the sake of the fact of like my camera being glitchy, I probably wouldn't be able to communicate it well. So therefore, that's why I didn't say it. You know?
No, terrible argument. You're stupid.
Huffy, he's getting huffy.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting huffy. I was having an organic conversation.
Nope.
Organic discussion.
Idiot. Texas, Alabama. Did you guys get to see any of that?
I watched near the end of it, and Bama's quarterback has like all the tools that you want for a guy, I think, but he is an athlete, but he is not the caliber of what they've had previously.
So let's run through Bama quarterbacks. You got AJ McCarron, start way back way back yonder, who's just great, right? He was the prototype. He was Tim Tebow without the athletic ability. Just the perfect college quarterback.
Yes, you know what? That's a great description. The perfect college quarterback. The
Yep.
guy that's not going to do anything to lose you a game, but
Nope.
that works
Jimmy
perfectly.
Garoppolo. Yep.
Yeah, but that works perfectly in college, though. Like, that's exactly what you need to win a national championship.
So-
You don't need the number 1 overall pick. You just need someone to run your offense effectively.
So then you fast forward to everyone's, I would say, the crowd favorite Bama quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who he has his dreads. He's squatting 6 trillion pounds. He gets hurt. Tua Tagovailoa comes in. Tua Tagovailoa is the guy. Then there's this short, little, skinny shit, Bryce Young, who is a freak and arguably the best out of all of them. And it's not that Joe.
Did you just skip Mac Jones like he didn't win a national title?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
On purpose. It doesn't work for my take. No, Mac Jones is in there. I would say arguably the greatest QB room in college football history is Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa. Like, all three are very dominant starters, and I don't love adding the word dominant next to Mac Jones, but he's looked great. My point being, though, all of those guys were very legitimate quarterbacks. They were very, very legitimate quarterbacks. Milton is a college quarterback, and not in the way A.J. McCarron was, that can go and be a system-esque backup. He is a college quarterback, guys. He's Kelly Bryant, Greg. He is a college quarterback.
Man, I love me some Kelly Bryant. He got beat out.
Kelly Bryant was a college quarterback.
He was, but he got beat out by T-Law, which there's no shame in getting beaten out by T-Law, in fairness.
College quarterbacks are always going to get beat out by real quarterbacks.
Okay, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
I've got 2. Matt Leinart, college quarterback, yes or no?
Nope.
Greg?
At the time, no, because Matt Leinart, yes, was damn good in college, but he was getting some pro looks.
He wasn't terrible at the pros. He wasn't what he should have been, but he went to the pros. He was trusted to run an offense. I would say he is a quarterback.
No, and especially that was around the time that USC quarterbacks were looked at.
Carson Palmer.
Oh man, they were like the gold standard. Like that. Like, remember, who was the Matt Barkley was looked at as the heir apparent, and then he decided to come back for his senior year, and he just completely did not. Yeah, did not. He could have been the number 1 overall pick if he would have came out.
Who's number 2, Josh?
Stetson Bennett,
college quarterback.
Oh God, yeah, 26-year-old quarterback for a national champion. That's a college quarterback. He's a there was a guy, and I'm trying to remember his name. He was the Florida State quarterback that actually won a national title, and I think he was like 26. I think it was like Brock Heward or something like that. Or no,
who was it?
Not Brock Heward.
Give me the college and the year.
Florida State. It was like the mid 90s. He won the national title. Was it Chris Weinke? Maybe. Yeah. Chris Weinke. Yeah. He was like another guy. He was like 25, 26, won a natty for Florida State, and he still got drafted, but it was like very, very late. And we all knew college quarterback. Now, there are some examples of guys that shouldn't have been pro quarterbacks. Brandon Weeden is probably the biggest example. College quarterback. The Browns thought he was a quarterback, and that was a bad idea. So there's logic to it. But
about Johnny Manziel?
College quarterback.
Johnny Manziel was a phenomenon, but at the time when he got drafted, I think there was like the reason why he wasn't looked at as like an elite pro prospect.
Tim Tebow. Good. Keep going.
Tim Tebow was another guy. I think most of us probably knew was not going to be a good NFL quarterback. But
improvisation will only get you so far when you are not a 0.1% athlete. And Johnny Manziel was a great, arguably the greatest college quarterback ever. Like, do I think he is? No, I don't. I think it's Vince Young. But Johnny Manziel's top 5, and that is not making you in the pros when you are not a better athlete than professional players. Because you're going from high school to college to the NFL. And if you aren't like Lamar can improvise, Kyler Murray can improvise, Caleb Williams will be able to improvise at the next level.
He has been improvising already, so like that's how you know he's going to be electric.
Yeah, well, it's because Lincoln Riley's a fucking fraud.
Ooh, good hot take on that one, actually.
Not if you live in Oklahoma.
That's fair. No, Deke, I do appreciate the college versus pro thing, because if you think about it, I think this was the first time when looking at Bama's quarterback situation, because they had Saban wasn't naming a starter into the first game of the year. And I think they had 3 or 4 guys competing for the starting job, and you couldn't pick out one. So I think that's kind of how you knew, like, this was going to be different. This was going to be a lot different compared to other years that Bama had guys to make it work. And all those, and in fairness, before Bama got the really good quarterbacks to that they got that notoriety for, Bama wasn't known as a quarterback factory. They were the guys that they got the elite athletes on defense, and they had the elite running backs to be able to make it work for them. But
wide receivers.
That's not really this. Oh, and wide receivers, I'll give you that. But this is just not that same Bama kind of program. Like, there's other programs that have kind of eaten into that now, that you don't have that dominance anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still would bet money that they'll win the West, because I don't think this LSU team is that good. Aside from that, I think they'll probably still be in Atlanta for the SEC title game against Georgia. So after that, it's just a crapshoot to try to see what happens. I mean, at this point, I think it's fair to say too, I still don't know how good Georgia is. Georgia's played cupcakes for the first 2 weeks. So
I agree with you there.
There's 7 quarterbacks on the Alabama roster.
I would believe that.
I'm not surprised.
The thing to bring up here about Georgia, Greg, they have now earned what Alabama have done for the past 20 years. They've earned the cupcake. So they are the guys until they are not the guys. All of that being said, Texas is the #1 school in the country right now. I think, Greg, right now, this is the biggest example of why the college football rankings suck. Because I get why Georgia's great. Texas just knocked off Alabama in the biggest game on their schedule. And the biggest game on their schedule couldn't get them past a Georgia on paper team that has played cupcakes. There is not a second of hesitation in my brain that Texas is the #1 college team in the country right now.
Yeah, I think Texas jumped up to number 4 right now. So they're still behind. They're still behind Georgia. They're still behind Ohio State
and Florida State.
Michigan.
Ohio State's
Florida
at
State,
6.
That's 6.
Okay, Florida State's 3. Then.
Undefeated teams go from 1 to 9. Bama's 10. Which, hear me out, Bama being in front of Tennessee sounds kind of ass. And I know I live here, but that's a tough one for me to swallow, because Bama, I mean, they're there in the AP top 25. Bama is ahead of these undefeated teams: Tennessee, Utah, Oregon, Kansas State, Oregon State, Ole Miss, Colorado, Oklahoma, blah, 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 the rest of these fuckheads. I can't, with good conscience, put Alabama losing by 10 and getting dominated by Texas ahead of Tennessee, even though they've had somewhat cupcakes. But at the end of the day, dude, that's Texas's biggest game. I understand Georgia's roster and their coach and who they are.
Right.
If that's not going to get them at least ahead of Florida State, what are we doing here?
Florida State's getting that bump, though, because of the fact that they just absolutely beat the crap out of LSU in that neutral site game. And I give them credit, because I was not sold on Florida State coming into this year, because I thought that because I need to see consistency from them, and they just absolutely beat down LSU in that game. So I think they've earned kind of that right to stake that claim until someone knocks them off in the ACC, which might be North Carolina, which might be NC State, for all I know.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
What?
Did you just say Georgia was in the ACC?
No, I'm talking about Florida State.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I hate you for just being like UNC and Drake May. Nah, the sprinkle in of your love for Drake May.
I've seen Drake May literally tear my heart out watching him just destroy Pitt after Kalijah Kancey got booted for targeting. So excuse me for seeing him just dice someone, a team that I care about, and just having that live in my head rent free. Which, by the way, I get to see him next weekend because they're playing at Pitt. So
Georgia. So this is kind of interesting, Derek.
Yeah, buddy.
It'll be interesting to see if Texas, let's say Texas and Georgia both don't lose a game the rest of the season.
Yes.
Texas has the harder schedule.
Yes.
Yeah,
but they won't ever take one from them.
So that's kind of where I'm at with this. So Texas, let's look at schedules. They beat Alabama, who is Alabama.
Baylor.
Next, Baylor's so bad right now. Like, they're a name, but they're so bad.
No,
Oklahoma.
Baylor just knocked off somebody.
No, Baylor just lost to Texas State.
Dude.
So
who'd Baylor beat week 1?
No, they didn't win week 1.
They lost to Texas State and lost to Utah, bud. They're 0-2.
Oh, they lost to Utah. Okay, thank you. I knew I was watching that game I had that game started for a reason, and it was because I wanted to see if Utah was any good. Okay, so Baylor sucks. Skip them.
Oklahoma 19 right now.
Yep.
You have Houston, always good. Kansas State 15, who might be down by then. They have TCU, who notably bad. And then they have Texas Tech, Iowa State. They should clean up the rest of the schedule.
You just skipped BYU like they didn't matter.
I said BYU in there.
You skipped. You went Houston to Kansas State.
I said Houston and BYU. They're okay.
Oh, okay.
Kansas State ranked. I'm getting over the ranked team. I mean, let's not act like BYU's something.
I would say though that like if you're looking at
Stop falling in love with Mountain West teams.
Well, 1, they're not Mountain West team. 2, they're a Big 12 team.
Big
3,
12 now,
they have 35-year-old men playing offensive line. So like if that does matter size wise, you know what I mean? You got like full grown men.
Also, first of all, you even went to BYU for a game and you said it sucked because they stopped selling beer after like a certain time.
First off, BYU doesn't sell beer, so why would
I?
Well,
the
have
state
said
of
that?
Utah, Provo, Utah. I apologize.
Utah sucks. I'm pretty open about that. Georgia has Ole Miss and Tennessee. That's it.
I would argue the Ole Miss and Tennessee is tougher
than Oklahoma and TCU, and
especially considering
the combination of Kansas State, Houston, BYU, and Iowa State.
Yeah, I mean, right now as we look at it, there are some like, does Kansas State finish the season at 15? You know what I mean?
Right.
But the other side of it is Georgia plays UAB, Georgia plays Kentucky, Vanderbilt, who they're gonna just steamroll. Florida, Mizzou. Yeah, like I think the only chance Texas has, Josh, right now is to win out and hope that Georgia has a tough time against Ole Miss and Tennessee. And even if they win, if it's a tough time, if they win against Tennessee by 3 and Texas dominates out, I could see it. But at the end of the day, you kind of see my point of the cupcake thing where it's like, oh, Puka Naku did not practice today.
Speaking of BYU receiver, actually.
Yeah, facts.
Mm-hmm.
It's all very interesting. And then you got Michigan has to play Ohio State and Penn State in the same fucking schedule.
Well, let's also keep this in mind that the rankings that you see right now, these aren't the CFP rankings that the committee kind of puts together every single week. This is the AP one. This is like the one that the writers vote on.
This is all we have.
It's just right. It's a placeholder to get an understanding of where everyone's at. Like when that first CFP ranking comes out, I think after 7 or 8 games into the year and stuff, that's when we'll get the understanding of where everyone kind of is. And this Texas win against Bama, that does sit in the minds of the committee a lot, because those non-conference ones that are on the road against ranked teams, those play very strongly, which is why Florida State and Texas, if they stay undefeated the rest of the way, they're going to probably be higher up there. But yes, Georgia is going to get benefit of the doubt because they're defending champs, because it's the SEC. Michigan will probably get benefit of the doubt because they won't have their head coach for some time. So it's semantics at this point.
You know who's got the hardest schedule going out?
Who?
Fucking Colorado. They play 5 currently ranked opponents.
The USC game. Oh,
dude, here's my thing about that though. They're gonna
be a fun game.
They're gonna dog walk Colorado State. It's gonna be 400 to nothing, and there's gonna be a fist fight. Colorado, Oregon, I'm very interested in. Bo Nix has been a really good transition there. I do still give the edge to Colorado, just because of the hype. I'm all on the hype.
Yeah, but they got to go to Bend. That's the hard part here.
Totally get it.
USC has to come to Boulder, though. That's fucking tight.
I can't see a scenario where USC loses due to two things. One, Colorado is built off the heels of Coach Prime's players that came with him.
His luggage.
And it's Louis, baby.
It's Louis.
And it's guys that went in the transfer portal and guys he wanted. And I totally respect and love that. The flip of that is Lincoln Riley had done that and has 2 recruiting classes.
Right.
So it's just a
little bit more,
Dion.
a little deeper. Yeah,
This
it's a little
will be
deeper.
this will be a pro team in USC versus the epitome of college football. This is basically like Houston, who with Case Keenum was throwing up like 400 points a game and just letting other teams score, like Texas Tech, the Big 12, basically. It's Colorado going, we're just going to score more than you and shut down your number 1 receiver with Hunter, and USC going, we're going to try to game plan you. And I can't wait to see who wins.
Josh, when is that game, just out of curiosity?
3 weeks.
September 30th.
Here's the tough part for Colorado. They're in Bend. They're in UCLA, or they're at UCLA. They have Oregon State at home, but then they finish the road at Waz State and at Utah. That's a tough fucking schedule.
Can I also say too that it would be so poetic if the very last year of the Pac-12 is Colorado winning it. I would love that.
That'd be awesome.
Before the Pac-12 dies and goes off into the sunset, it's Coach Prime holding up the championship for the very last.
They do.
time.
I mean, there's no way. There's no fucking, like, that's murderer's row. And they're not good enough defensively to play with Oregon or USC.
No, Josh, listen, I'm right there with you. As great of a story as Colorado is, I watched that game against Nebraska for the most part. That's not a good team in Nebraska. And Shedeur Sanders got sacked 5 times in that game.
Yeah,
that's not a good offensive line to work with. So as excited as I am about everything, like I think Prime said something too about like Boulder. I guess like he brought in so much money to the city of Boulder just for the game last weekend, which is huge. I love him for talking about
tickets
that.
Tickets are up $400
for just this game. That's awesome. But still, like, I think when you watch them on the field, you also have to be realistic of like how the team is kind of set up that way. There's definitely guys that you're excited to see. But man, when they start playing like Oregon and USC, it's gonna get tight real quick.
What other schools tried to get Dion?
None.
As far as I'm aware, Colorado's the only one that offered him from the start.
Clutch Sports has something here. You know, they're a fucking fraud scam company. They're just put out clickbait, but it's that he's picking between 3 schools. I'm not clicking the article.
Everybody wanted him to go back to Florida State.
Well, the story with that one was like before Florida State hired Mike Norvell, Prime wanted to get the coaching job at Florida State, and that was before he even had the job at Jackson State. So
which is why he went to Jackson State and all that jazz.
Right. He had no coaching experience whatsoever. So like he went to Jackson State, proved that he could coach, and then Colorado like offered him the bag that they didn't actually have because they're paying him money that they actually don't have.
The interesting thing about that though is I was talking to, I don't remember who it was. It might have been you fuckers. I can't remember it. About the fact that he'll never coach at Florida State.
Right.
Did we talk about that?
No, but I mean, now he won't.
Then it might have been my buddy at work. We were talking about Dion there, and here's my thought on the whole thing. It makes a lot of sense. You bring him back, the chosen one, blah, blah, blah. If I was Dion, I would go to USF or go to one of the smaller Florida schools. I would gut Florida State's fucking absolutely athletic pool. Think about it, Greg.
What if he went to Florida?
So many. I don't think he wants to go to Florida because of that.
Little too big.
UCF, USF. I'm trying to think of other. What's FIU? Dude, if he goes to one of...
Did you just take Willie Taggart's job, you son of a bitch?
He killed a guy in Oregon.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No, the strength coach killed him.
It was his
Willie Taggart.
Staff.
No, but here's the other thing. I genuinely, if I was Dion, I would say, okay, I'm sitting here, all the hype in the world. What's the one thing that can bring me down? Going to a big program and failing.
Right.
If Dion gets it, let's say, okay, here's a scenario. Nick Saban dies, right? Dabo Swinney goes straight over, and Clemson goes, Dion, we want you. Dion comes in, and Clemson is average for the rest of time. He could get fired. It's bad. Dion's place in the world is going to be going to smaller schools and bringing these 5-star players with huge NIL deals to smaller schools that never had the chance ever. So Colorado would never have written the name Hunter on the back of a jersey in a trillion fucking years.
No, not even close.
And Florida is a hotbed where he has a grudge.
Okay, so here's my question. With the conference realignment and now a Power 4, maybe 3.
Yep.
Are there any small jobs?
I would say yes.
But he's not going to go to USF. He's not going to go to a Mountain West school. He's not going to go to a MAC school.
So you were saying there are small jobs?
Yeah, I meant he's not going to go down a step. Do you know what I mean? He took the smallest job he could get at the Pac-12. Absolutely. That was literally damn near a Mountain West school. Flipped it around immediately. But his next step, if he's calculated, like you're saying, can't be USF because that's a step backward, especially after conference realignment.
Every step backward leads to 2 steps forward. He can think about Florida. There's maybe Greg, 3, 4. I'd give 4 hotbeds if you're counting the DMV area for college football recruits.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, it's Florida, it's Texas, it's California, and it's DMV area. Those are the hotbeds of college recruiting.
Yeah, and Georgia's getting up there too. With regards to that,
where did the big dogs
New Jersey
in their own area, right?
Sure.
You look at the California teams. They try, but they kind of suck at it. Texas teams recruiting Texas. Bama can recruit whatever the fuck they want. Georgia's becoming it. DMV area over in Rand University, and Florida. If you look up any person that has been famous from college football, it's oh fuck, they're from Florida. Got it.
Yeah.
Going to one of those schools, I can't even sit here and pretend to say that as a kid you wouldn't want to play for fucking Dion, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I get that it's the program might be a step back, Josh. I understand that. UCF, not a step back.
No, UCF would be on a side lateral move is what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
be in the Big 12. Yeah, be in the Big 12.
I'm just looking for schools in Florida. I mean, hear me out. I think he's more likely to go to the fucking U than Florida.
I'm so glad you brought that up. If there was because for the longest time, ever since the 2000 Hurricane team that was undefeated,
yes,
every year it's always Miami can recruit like crazy. But for some reason they just cannot get a coach to get them to that next level. They've spun their wheels so many years for the longest time to be able to do that. And here's the thing. In college, when he was at Florida State, they hated each other. Miami and Florida State hated each other. Can you imagine if Dion decides to coach his old rival? And can you imagine if there was one guy that I truly believe that can bring Miami back to national relevance instead of all the preseason hype that they get every single year, they'll get ranked accordingly, and then by week 4, week 5, they get blown out by someone, and then they're an afterthought afterwards.
So let me ask you this, Greg.
Would be about perfect coach for that situation.
So you just said that Miami can recruit no problem, but they never have a coach that gets them over the edge. Derek just said that Dion could recruit literally Travis Hunter to go to Boulder, Colorado. We don't know if he's a great coach.
I disagree with that.
Do we know? Because he has not won a championship.
Is that the definition of a great coach to you?
I believe it is.
So a great coach has to win a championship.
I would say a great coach has to win a championship.
So the only great coaches in college football right now are Nick Saban,
Mm-hmm.
Dabo Swinney,
Sure.
and Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple other, but I'm
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
and Lincoln Riley, not a great coach.
No, good coach, not a great coach.
Okay, so why does Deion have to be a great coach then? If he can recruit Travis Hunter to Colorado.
I'm using Greg's term, I guess, is where I pulled the word great from.
Okay. Totally fine. I'm jumping out then. I thought
you know what I mean though? Like that's where I'm at. Like him going to a HBBCS school and recruiting D1 talent there, he was playing with better players than the other team, and he couldn't win a championship. He has gone to Colorado with that luggage, whooped TCU, who arguably maybe has of a quality player that they do, right? He whooped Nebraska, which Nebraska sucks. So let's see how he does against USC. Let's see how he does against those schools who do have an advantage on him as far as the quality of player, the deepness of the roster, and let's see if he can scheme. Let's see if he can create general game plans that help his team knock off a team that is on a skill level better than him.
There are 5 right now, Josh, college football coaches with natties.
Okay.
Saban, Swinney, Kirby, Mac Brown is at UNC.
Okay.
And then Jimbo Fisher is at A&M.
Okay. Yep.
I would not say Mac Brown is a great coach.
Where did Mac Brown win a natty?
Texas. I wouldn't call Jimbo Fisher
years ago.
I wouldn't call Jimbo Fisher a great coach right now either. Like, I mean, like he had that one.
I'm not
Jimbo
against
Fisher.
what you're saying, Josh,
Jimbo Fisher stole one from Saban.
Yes.
So like, you know what I mean? Like the Mac did when what's his Brown, whatever the fuck his name is. Did he win it when Saban was a head coach? That's a legitimate question.
He actually no. In all seriousness, I'm pretty sure Mac Brown was the head coach when Vince Young won the title at Texas, and I believe that was around the time that Saban was the head coach at LSU.
So it was 2-5. Mike Shula was the Crimson Tide head coach then.
Okay.
So great question.
Saban's at LSU, which he's not Nick Saban yet. He's becoming Nick Saban, but he's not Nick Saban yet.
Yeah.
Right. So he leaves LSU to go coach with the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's like, did you steal a ring from Jordan? Because then fine. Like you get your cred.
Nick Fury and Captain Marvel. He's not really Nick Fury yet, but he's Nick Fury.
He's Nick Fury. Like you didn't steal one from Saban. Those other dudes stole one from Saban. Jimbo Fisher stole one from Saban. Kirby Smart shut Nick Saban up. You know what I mean? Dabo stole one from Saban. Like
it's like the Rock.
Dabo stole 2.
Oh yeah, true.
It's like when the Rockets stole rings from that Magic team in '94 and '95, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm curious to see, and this is not me being like a Deion downer because I've watched both of those fucking games start to finish. I'm more fascinated to see how it was going to work out than anybody. How will it work out? As we just talked about, he has a murderer's row of a schedule left. And he's going to whoop CSU at home and then have to tell his kids they're not as good as they think they are because they're heading up to fucking Bend, Oregon, where the atmosphere is going to be there. The team's quality is going to be there. The quarterback play, he's not going to have an advantage in like he has the first 3 games. Like, it's going to be a different situation. It'll be really interesting to see how many of those murderers' rows he's able to get wins against.
Yeah, like Josh, I don't want to say that you're being pessimistic. I think you're being like kind of like, all right, you're buying into the excitement and all that, but you also you're realizing the fact that like he's about to get into some legit competition. So like let's see how he performs.
I would go as far as this. If he goes up to Oregon and keeps it close, I'll take it all back. Go up to Oregon and keep it close. Be within a score. Oh, you think they win in Oregon?
Uh-huh. I do. I don't think that Oregon has really... I don't know, man. I'm kind of over Oregon, I'll be honest.
I think that's fair, but I also don't think that you can like everything.
They're a real team.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they are a real team. So
Right.
Oregon
But
is
they're
going
not-
to be. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, they're not like, they're not special Oregon, if
No,
that makes sense.
not this
Okay,
year.
that's
Like,
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, because you know what's weird too? Like Justin Herbert was the quarterback at Oregon, and I completely would forget that if someone didn't remind me. Like even when he was at Oregon, they weren't like perennial national title contenders. Like Oregon to me hasn't been special since Mariota was there,
Right. And that's
and that
me-
was
that's
years
fine.
ago.
Let me ask you guys a question. We're sitting here, Steelers fans.
Mm-hmm.
We're 0-1.
I don't think I like where this is going.
You won't. We're looking at probably, as of right now, this very second, and it could turn around and we could be very happy. Another between 13 and 22 draft pick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in this class.
There are.
With
Kenny's
bigger
25.
hands.
Well,
Kenny's
with
25.
the ability to throw to a slant route.
Yeah.
That was one of the most embarrassing games I've ever seen for someone else. I've never felt secondhand embarrassment for someone. I love Kenny, guys. I felt like I couldn't even blame Matt Canada, who ran a fucking 4 streaks on the 8-yard line, because Deontay should have had 2.
Yeah.
Fryermuth should have had 1. And Najee Harris can't find a fucking hole to save his life in a pipe factory. I don't want to say we need to go draft another first-round quarterback. But you can't tell me that Drake May, Quinn Ewers, Caleb Williams, Shadee Sanders, J.J. McCarthy.
No, we've
Don't
already
sound-
we already tried the quarterback out of Colorado thing. Okay, I can't go through that again.
Oh, Cordell Stewart.
Oh, he was great. What do you mean you can't go
I
through
can't
that?
go through it again.
He was a beast.
Slack,
yeah, but we
Slack
never
was
won.
awesome.
But my point is, so
we got
we're at
close.
we're at a crossroad where we have always done the same thing, and we trust our guys and we fight through tough times. I'm getting to the point where I'm frustrated with the Rooneys that Matt Canada's still there. I'm not going to blame Tomlin, because I think blaming Tomlin for Canada still being there is a misrepresentation of the roles that are set in place for these franchises. He's the coach. He coaches the fucking team. He is not there to make those types of decisions. And if he believes in Canada, that's something I can't really speak on. I'm pissed at the Rooneys and I'm pissed at Con that Matt Canada's still there. And all of that aside, I watched some of the worst throws I've ever seen from Kenny Pickett on Sunday. Now, Kenny, the drive to end the half was tremendous
really
and beautiful. And he finished the game strong. And that was, in the defense of our entire team, arguably the best defense we'll see this year.
Might be the
Yeah,
best team we see this year.
Fred Horner was amazing in that game.
So
Oh my God.
flip it here. Brock Purdy made us look like fucking punks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got to take a quarterback this year.
Just recovering from TJ surgery, by the way.
Dude, here's my fucking thing. I don't know what makes offenses run like that, but there are 31 other teams out there.
Mhm.
30, fuck the Titans. Their offense is terrible. 30 other teams out there. I can't tell you what to do, but watching Zach Wilson hit open receivers is infuriating. Infuriating.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix it as Derek the human, but I know there's people out there.
There's 30 other
fucking-
teams.
There's
That
30
can do it.
teams.
That
There
can
are
do
30 other teams. We watched 2 of them together. The Chargers in Miami was an offensive duel.
That was awesome.
Get one of those guys. Find someone who just thinks like that and fucking do it. Because I can't tell you how, but I know it's happening. I don't know how cars work, but they
Right.
go. And I know they go, and there's people that are very smart at making them go. Find us a guy that can make the car go.
Man, it's great. Because I feel like last year it was all like, we're in these low score games, and the defense has given us a chance to win every
Shout
game.
out EJ. Yes.
We just need a fucking anybody other than Chris Boswell to get points.
I took him in every fucking league because we just kick teams to death.
And I get all of that, and I see all of that frustration, and I think like this was the worst possible outcome to happen after last year's giant level of frustration. And really, this goes back to the first year Ben was hurt the whole year when we were playing the Duck Rudolph game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
which is so fucking embarrassing to Mason Rudolph still to this day.
We have not had a legitimate offense since that 1 year Ben tried to go undefeated just for fuck skis. Like we just have not seen an offense put together since.
Have we seen a player actually be in the movie Space Jam like Chase Claypool? By the way, that dude has fucking forgot how to play sports. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
He's inactive this week too already, which is incredible.
He's inactive this week.
Fuck it, dude. We got JPG because of that dumbass.
Oh my god, dude! The video of him trying to block someone.
So embarrassing.
Oh, it was bad. Or him taking the flop. Oh, it was so bad.
Keep going, Josh.
Bad.
Yeah, so I think like it's tough, right? Because like we've been craving for offense for what feels like 5 or 6 years now, and so after last year's will they, won't they with Kenny Pickett finally comes in, we start to maybe play well late, and you're like, ooh, Kenny can lead a drive to win a game, and like maybe this Matt Canada offense is better than we think it is, and then we just walk out there and we're fucking doing the run pass bullshit again, and we're fucking running it up the middle, and we're setting up play action that we never ever fucking use, and he's running, he looks like he's a toddler calling a Madden play with 8 yards to go and a crucial 4th down. Like, I get all that, and I just it's so fucking weird, but I'm like, that was probably the best team in the NFL. There's just that part of me, you know what I mean?
Yes, which is totally fair.
I don't know, man.
But here's the larger point. Why did Broderick Jones not play every snap?
Yeah,
Josh.
Yeah, especially after he came in and shut down he bullied Bosa. He fucking pancaked him.
Well, that was Darnell Washington.
I'm sorry. Yes, Darnell Washington is a dog.
So but here's the thing. 75 guys. So there's 32 teams in the league, right? Which means 64 starters, meaning some subs. 75 tackles were graded by Pro Football Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Moore finished 75th. Why the fuck was he on the field when maybe it's a rep thing? Bullshit. Broderick Jones can handle that workload. He is a manimal. He is a large human, and he is literally the future of our offensive line. You can't. I love Chooks, Greg. You can't tell me he's good. You can't tell me Dan Moore's good. We brought in so many MFers. Why Dan Moore got to see the field is insane to me. And that is not a shot at Dan Moore, because he was let out to dry for being put on the field against the best team we will face.
I'm not even blaming Dan Moore. I'm blaming Isaac Seumalo for giving up 3 sacks from Drake Jackson in that game.
Sure.
Seumalo
but to be
was
out of
awful.
75 tackles, Greg, to be ranked 75th.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that I take PFF stuff with kind of a grain of salt just because it's Chris Collinsworth. It's Chris Collinsworth's company. Like, come on. Like, I can barely trust him. But yes, that is something that's kind of daunting, to say the least.
So you're saying it's not Tomlin's fault that Canada's still there?
I'm saying that I don't believe it's the head coach's responsibility to hire and fire positions, because honestly, dude,
hang on, Herd Chef, got it.
No. Oh. I'm saying because I don't know.
Okay, sure,
that's it.
Yeah.
Whose responsibility is it to make the change at left tackle?
My guess would be the offensive line coach. Who is?
Yeah, Pat Meyer, I believe.
Who's been there forever.
No,
it was the dude that went to the Broncos for a minute, Greg. Who was that?
Oh, that was
Mike Munchak.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved Munchak. He was so good.
Pat Meyer started last year.
Oh, okay. So
no.
because the guy that replaced Munchak was fucking awful. The guy who replaced Munchak was the guy that had to coach Kendrick Green to be the starting center, which
Sean. So it went Mike Munchak,
right.
and then Sean Surratt, and then Adrian
what's
Clem, and
Mike
now Pat
Munchak
Meyer.
doing right now? Can we,
dude? No,
can we get him out of the Giant Eagle?
He moved for his family.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, that's what sucked because he took the same job.
It was literally a lateral move, and a lot of people thought he was going to get an OC look. He took a lateral move because his wife's from there, I think. Right?
Okay.
I don't remember. I knew he wanted to be close with his family. That's all I knew. But it was bad because oh my god, he was so good for us when he was with us.
Okay.
It sucked.
Yeah, I feel like we all know what the problems are, and everyone's got their arms in the air, going like, "Who's responsible for this?" And no one's doing anything about it. Which
I cannot tell you how many times I watch like the press like the post practice stuff when they talk to the coordinators, and it's Matt Canada wearing that fucking straw hat that he stole from Pat Narduzzi, and I want to strangle motherfucker because he's just like, we gotta score more points, we gotta put up more yards. No shit, you gotta do that. Like every time, and I saw the stat on online a couple of days ago. What was it? That since 2001, the Steelers are the only team that haven't put up like a 40-point.
No, it was 400 yards.
400 yards. 400. Every other team in the NFL has put up 400 yards of offense in the 2-year time frame, and the Steelers have not. And 21 is when Matt Canada became the offensive coordinator. So clearly, there's a correlation there, and I don't get why. I feel like I've never seen a fandom and also like a pundit and a like newspaper columnist and every other like writer under the sun all say the exact same thing and be in unison at once, and then just nothing gets done. It's mind-blowing to me how like everyone is saying the exact same thing, but they're refusing to push it. And I understand the Steelers are stubborn. I get it. I'm not.
That is the core of it all, though. They're fucking stubborn about being the Steelers, which like I love and I respect and I get it. And dude, I sit here and I love Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Something's got to change, man.
Yeah.
Who's available?
So that's the crux of it, is that every time someone has ever told me we should fire fucking Tomlin, we should fire Tomlin, I go, who would you rather have? That's not for me to decide. Well, then it's not for you to fucking fire him. The other side of it is, though, like, we got all these motherfuckers out here, Greg, that are not getting head coaching jobs who are available for OC gigs, and we hire Matt Canada because he has this huge history with Kenny Pickett, and then he sets him up with 4 streaks on the 8.
Man, we had Brian.
Well, wait a second. That's the other thing, too. Canada wasn't even hired as the OC. He was the quarterback coach. This was a promotion for him.
So embarrassing.
That's the part that's even crazier for that. It wasn't even like they went outside the box to hire him as the OC. It was a promotion from. I don't even remember who the OC was before him. It was like the quarterback. It was like the other quarterback coach that got promoted and then I think got let go. But yeah, I don't want to necessarily harp on the same thing because I feel like that's all I've read and seen all week. But it's hard not to go against this. But again, I'm kind of on Josh's side with this one as well. That Niners team is so fucking good that I just feel like we got hit with the best team in the NFL.
Fuck me in the dick, right, Josh?
What?
Sorry.
No, I said it first, but I'm just gonna fuck myself.
Man, dude, just watching that Niners team, they had Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's healthy. Brandon Ayuk actually looked like he performed and is ready to do something, even though Deebo Samuel was doing all right. George Kittle was blocking motherfuckers everywhere. Trent Williams was the best left tackle in football. And then on defense, Fred Warner looks amazing. Bosa looks healthy. Jackson matched his sack total from last year in one game. Like
I still think Shanahan's a fraud. But.
We sat here for however many weeks we did mock drafts, and every time Brandon Ayuk came up, all 3 of us went, yeah, but it never actually puts it together. And then this motherfucker comes out in week 1 and looks like goddamn Randy Moss. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I will stand the fact that Dre and I love Ayuk. I think Ayuk's a great athlete.
You
believe
were
in the
pushing
receiver.
him. I will give you that.
I said
You
this
were
is the
pushing
year, but it also came off the heels of me doubting Deebo Samuel, who has proven everyone wrong every year. So you're like, well, why the fuck would I believe in this guy when the other guy's been great all the time? And I do genuinely believe that there will be a very up-down relationship between Deebo and Ayuk.
Sure. One eats, one doesn't.
And the other side of it is, dude.
Who's open?
Yeah, Deebo got covered by our best. Ayuk got, and it sucks to say this out loud, he got Patrick Peterson. Yeah. And Peterson's defense was not bad on that one, but that was tough. And the other couple passes, he got cooked. Yes.
I think.
Yeah, did you see him? Did you see him post game? By the way, that Peterson said that no, Purdy's tells were still there. I was just too late to get them.
Well, yeah, you can't say he has tells. I'll talk to you guys after I get a pick, and then get fucking cooked, and then say, "Well, I saw them. I was too slow." Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and
I love the fact that we have Patrick Peterson, but fuck, sorry, Josh.
You just look at and we had this discussion too because I took the 49ers as the Moneyball team, and you were like, Josh, do you believe in Brock Purdy? And I was like, yeah. And yeah, okay, sure. He's a game manager. So is fucking Tom Brady. He just didn't mismanage the game.
I can no longer call him a game manager after Tampa.
True.
But I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not against it. It's
I can't call him a game manager after I saw him spin move Minka. I can't.
Oh,
he's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete, and
also,
I'm so mad about it.
Sorry, I just put the game on, so I hate to do that for the last half hour. But Justin Jefferson being about 10 yards of separation between him and Darius Slay is crazy. Because Slay is a great one-on-one corner.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That's one of the few mistakes that the Lions have made in the last 2 years since Campbell took over, is trading Slay.
I don't agree with it being a mistake, because they weren't win now, so get what you can for the guys that you can. But I know what you mean, and I don't disagree with the sentiment behind what you're saying.
How about can we talk about them old Lions real quick?
Yeah, fuck them. They've got 8 points.
Can we just shout out Jared Goff for putting it all together again? I know Greg hates Jared Goff, but that's fucking cool, man.
Jared Goff.
That dude,
I'm not giving that motherfucker any credit because he did not have to stare at Chris Jones down the middle, because Jones was up in the press box or whatever suite he was with his agents behind his side flexing and saying that he needed money. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. He led that game-winning drive, had no pressure in his face whatsoever.
Terrible take.
Not doing it. I'm going to be stubborn on this one.
One player does not define the up or down success of anything outside of the Pittsburgh Steelers and TJ Watt. There is not a chance in hell that Jared Goff does not shove his probably tiny wiener down the stat line with Chris. I get what you're saying, Greg, but you're just angry at the world, buddy.
I'm just angry. I'm just angry at Jared Goff.
Also,
hang on.
Shout out Jared Goff, his girlfriend, Smoke.
Well,
absurd. Greg, Google.
Here's the part that I love.
I will later.
Is that this dude loses
my phone right now.
This dude loses a Super Bowl to maybe the greatest quarterback other than Tom Brady ever, in a come-behind effort that none of us saw coming and is really the defense's fault, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Who'd the Rams lose to?
He lost to the Patriots. He lost to the Patriots, yeah.
Who do you think they lost to?
I thought he lost to the Chiefs. I thought that was the Chiefs' first one.
No. The Chiefs and Rams game I think you're thinking of is that Monday night game that was the absurd video game score.
He didn't lose to the Chiefs? 52.
No, the Chiefs beat the
49ers. That's right. Yeah.
The Patriots won 13-3 in the weirdest. Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I was not being a jerk. I was like, all
right. Anyway, so he is a quarterback. He was a high pick.
Oh wow! Shout out Keely Ringo.
Is that her name?
No. Keely Ringo is a Georgia cornerback that the Eagles took in a late round. Who, honestly, hear me the fuck out. One of the best calls of my life.
You were high on.
I was not high on Keely Ringo. No, everyone had Keely Ringo in the first round of their mocks, and I said this dude is like a third round corner.
Keely Ringo. Dre was high on Keely
Dre
Ringo.
had this guy as cornerback 3. He got drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. Freak athlete. He had literally not an essence of ball hawk. He had no awareness. He was just a freak athlete. And I said this to Dre. I said, dude, look at the deep balls. He cannot picture where the ball will be. He's just a better athlete. And he fucking fell. Oh, it felt so good.
So all I wanted to say was Jared Goff
Go ahead.
was a franchise quarterback for the Rams. Went to a Super Bowl, lost, got chased out of town. Ends up in Detroit, gets the intermediate tag, right? Like he's only there till they draft a quarterback. And now that the Lions are good, look who's still standing tall. Jared fucking Goff. That's all I want to say. That's all I wanted to say. Shout out Jared Goff. You fucking keep going, buddy. All right.
I'll give him credit.
Do we have any other football shit?
I mean,
I think we do have a lot. Yeah. I
gotta piss. You keep talking. I'm gonna piss.
I mean, I gotta pee too. Do the thing.
What?
Do the break. It's 7:30.
Oh, you want to do a break? Okay.
Yeah, real quick.
All right,
I gotta pee.
Let's do a break. We'll be right back. Bye.
Always been the first to come to mind. I can't make a decision on what to do with her once she is mine. I've got to get closer, closer. I've got to get closer, closer. I got a proposition, one that's sure to save us both some time. Why don't you come home with me? Maybe then you will see I got just what you say you need. I don't know if you came here alone. Tell you're right, find another way home. 'Cause you're coming home alone with me. Doesn't do tradition. She's got a very modern sense of class. I don't do superstition. I'll keep my fingers crossed that I make this last. I've got to get closer, closer. I've got to get closer, closer. And I got a proposition, one that's sure to keep things moving fast. Why don't you come home with me? Maybe then you will see I got just what you say you need. I don't know if you came here alone. Tell you're right, find another way home. 'Cause you're coming home alone with me.
That was Closer by Instead of Sleeping.
Other football news
Yeah.
right now. I'm kind of really interested on a few storylines. One being Melvin Gordon is arguably now the lead rusher for the Ravens, so that impacts us dearly.
That's fair.
It
Is
impacted
J.K.
my
Dobbins
fantasy.
just snake bit?
Both of you said things at such a perfect time. I have no clue.
You go.
Is J.K. Dobbins just snake bit?
And what'd you say, Josh? And I'll decide which one I want
Fucked
to
my
go.
fantasy team.
Okay. Yes, Greg. I do think he is snake bitten. Here's the issue with the J.K. Dobbins of the world is that there's a reason I avoid them in fantasy all the time, man. Like I've never drafted J.K. Dobbins ever. I think he's probably an amazing human. Probably he is a good football player when available and healthy. I don't know. I can't speak to what the fuck it is, man. I'm just out on J.K. Dobbins always, and I'm out on Ravens running backs always as a whole. But I think Melvin Gordon coming up there is good for them. I think this does kind of hamper. I mean, both of you. Are we scared of Lamar's arm?
Ooh.
Not after this week. Like, I don't think they. I mean, like, I don't
use
think
his
he
whole
did
career.
any-
Use his whole career as like
Whole
a
career?
litmus. Yeah. because the system they're running is brand new. So I'm giving them the week as like a learning. Are you scared of Lamar Jackson's arm?
I'm scared.
Oh my
of
God,
Lamar
the Vikings just fumbled.
Poor Kurt.
Oh shit. Okay.
On a
I'm
punt.
scared of Lamar. I'm scared of Lamar Jackson, the player, but in terms of the arm, not really.
Okay.
You know, I think his accuracy is good. I think
what's
he's
up,
got
Dre?
good arm strength. I think he's got good arm strength, but in terms of like, am I scared of just the arm?
Dre said in
No.
my defense about Ringo, I dropped him on the board. So Dre was here to hear me say that Ringo sucks. I love you, Dre. Dre. Here's my thing about Dre, man. He's been owning a lot of his takes. Dre, we were talking about Quinn Ewers
gotten
earlier,
humble.
buddy. Yeah,
He's
we were
got-
talking
he's
about.
gotten-
I fully
He's
brought
gotten
it up.
humble very quickly. Yeah.
I said you owned the Quinn Ewers take. I had to watch more tape at the combine, watching him without pads on. Yikes!
So it does it. So it does
You know
it.
who does look fluid? Christian Gonzalez, baby. Sorry, Greg, you were saying.
Dude, he looked good this weekend against the Eagles. He did. He looked good. I'll give you that. But no.
Also, I want to say this. I am not going to bring up all Dre's here. How bad Sauce Gardner looked. I am not going to bring that up.
He did get cooked.
He got fucking cooked,
He
but
got
I'm not
cooked.
bringing it up because I love you, Dre.
And in fairness, I think you do love Sauce Gardner too. Just saying.
Oh my God, I fucking love Sauce Gardner.
Which, by the way, real quick, did you see Woody Johnson rocking the chain during the game?
Someone said
Oh
Woody
my
Johnson is
God.
just as funny a name as Sexy Red. All right, Greg.
That Woody chain's incredible.
who- Yeah, go.
I was gonna ask, like, so in terms of stuff that happened from week 1, what is kind of like the story
Let's-
that got your attention the most? Would
Yeah.
you say?
Week 1, the story that got my attention the most. Josh brought it up previously. Jordan Love's pretty good at football, huh?
Dude,
I'm so
that
mad.
offense-
How good he is
that-
at football.
Dude, I
Dude,
heard
that-
that the Bears
Oh,
the
wow.
Bears owner had a meeting with the GM president and was like, 3 straight quarterbacks. They've
Yeah.
had 3
Yeah.
quarterbacks since the 80s that
Yeah.
have fucked us. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Crazy.
First of all, I'm not giving up on Justin Fields in the
Mm.
slightest. I still think he's a very good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
but it is pretty funny that this is now the 3rd straight quarterback that has
Crazy.
absolutely cooked the Bears, and they are just cursed forever with regards to that. But damn, that offense was so good. And I hope people remembered how good Aaron Jones is in that
Here's-
offense.
Here's a question, Greg. Dre brings up a really good point that I don't think we really talked about much last year, to be fair. Sauce has not been traveling with the one receiver. He can't play in the slot. So Dre says one problem I do have about Sauce is him not traveling. His elite status got to go into question. He also cannot play in the slot. So the fact that Sauce is not blanketing the one like a Peterson, like a Jair, like a Ramsey, AJ Terrell, I think Terrell follows. I could be
Maybe,
crazy.
yeah.
I'm just
But
going to
hear
say
me
Travis
out.
Hunter, even though he's never played a snap in the NFL.
Fair.
Wait a
but-
second. Hear me out on this, though. Richard Sherman got kind of like that same knock on him because it was more of a side of the field type shutdown.
Yeah,
that
but I
they
don't
did.
think that happened with Sauce because he got cooked.
Right.
No,
So-
but when you were talking about the fact that like Sauce doesn't go up against the best guy, they're more like zone based. Like he stays on his side of the field whatsoever. Richard
Yes.
Sherman got that same knock on him.
But
and,
Richard Sherman never got cooked, Greg.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's a pick. What a day. Yeah, that's my point here. Sauce
Okay.
did not follow. Thank you, Dre. He said Terrell does follow. Terrell's crazy. Sauce does not follow the one and got cooked. That's the problem. Richard Sherman, you could not throw to the right. It was that easy.
regardless of who was there, yeah, like they would game plan around that. That's understandable. But
I mean, I think one of the greatest conversations ever is genuinely Darrelle Revis or Richard Sherman. Who do you want on your team?
Sherman.
by bias, I want Revis.
But okay, well, let's break that down. Josh, why Sherman?
That guy's a winner. That guy plays big games. He wants the spotlight. He wants the whatever. I'll take that guy every time.
Different than the purpose of the question, but a really solid answer that I can't argue against.
Yeah, I mean that's
like
me,
it.
right? That's
Well, so Revis,
I'll take that dude.
If we're playing the Falcons back in 2013,
Sure.
Revis will follow Julio. Sherman will make sure that Julio cannot catch the ball on the right side of the field. That's the difference. So, Greg, you chose Revis.
I chose Darrelle Revis. Revis, based on part of it is because he's a Pitt guy. So like I watched him through college. He was elite. I remember the kick return against West Virginia, but Revis Island was a legit thing. When he was with the Jets, that dude absolutely shut down guys when he was on that great defense that he worked with. And here's the other thing.
Go for it.
And the other reason I give him a lot of credit. Revis is also one of those guys too that was never afraid to get the bag that he could. He got big money with Tampa. He got big money with New England. He retired on top, and he's a Hall of Famer now. And he looks chunky as hell, but damn it, he did
terrible.
it in style. Yes,
Dre
he looks
said,
chunky.
I definitely think we need to remember, which I agree with this, that corner is the hardest non-quarterback position to play. Him getting cooked is going to happen.
Fair.
Just got to make sure he continues the battle. Revis got cooked by Moss. Moss is Hall of Famer. Moss is the GOAT. Dre did get dragged, just so the both of you know, through our Dynasty chat because he ranked Moss ahead of Rice. And I think the sentiment of the chat was, we get that you can say you have an opinion, but nothing other than opinions puts Moss ahead of Rice.
Moss talent-wise was absolutely incredible, but
So
you
was Josh
cannot
Gordon.
tell me. Right, but you cannot tell me that Jerry Rice is not the GOAT.
Yeah,
You can't.
I love you, Dre, and I
That's
respect
like-
your standalone status on that. I will.
That's kind of eerily similar to like when Joe Montana like did that interview in GQ recently and said that Dan Marino's the best quarterback ever.
Yes, that was very fun.
Dan Marino might be the most talented quarterback ever, but the best quarterback and most talented are two completely different things.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is available for most talented. He's definitely not the best.
Right.
Let's talk some other week one storylines. So we brought that up. So Jordan Love, great as of right now. No, I'm so sorry. It was Dre's right. It's not Moss. I apologize. I would like to get both your opinions on this take.
Oh, hang on a second. I was just gonna say if Jordan Love only ever beats
you,
the
Dre.
Bears for the rest of his career, he still counts because the Bears just continue to get cooked. Anyway, go ahead.
Which, by the way, did this without his technical number one receiver in Christian Watson. Although Romeo Doubs looked good. Doubs looked good. Aaron Jones looked good. That offensive line looked good. They're going to be a problem this year, I think.
You are the quarterback of a team.
Okay.
And you get to, Dre, type it in the chat and I'll read it out loud. And you get to pick right now, guys. You are the quarterback. And your season, you are very good at being a quarterback. And you look and there's two guys across the field as your wide receiver one. One of them is Jerry Rice. The other is Terrell Owens. Who do you pick? Because take stats, take the quarterbacks they played with, take everything out of it. You see two specimens, and you know their talent level. Because Dre got dragged because he ranked Terrell Owens over Jerry Rice.
All right. Well, first of
It was
all,
not Moss. I apologize, Dre.
I was gonna say, well, first of all, I know how Jeff Garcia feels now, so at least there's that.
Shut up.
Terrell Owens.
Garcia
in terms,
Such a good dude.
Terrell Owens is probably in terms of just physical attributes, is just.
So Dre's take is, I think T.O. is pound for pound the best receiver ever. Size, speed, strength, hands, elusiveness, everything. He did not have Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Rice, which we did debunk because he got drafted to Steve Young's team.
He did play for Steve Young.
McNabb.
He did play for Steve Young.
But he has Rice. He has Moss, T.O. Wait, Dre, how can Ross? Okay, Moss, T.O., Rice, Calvin Fitz is his top five. Anyways, Josh, answer the question. T.O. or Rice?
I'm just thinking real quick that Garcia is the Marquez Valdez-Scantling of quarterbacks. He went from Jerry Rice to Terrell Owens as his 1-1. Scantling went from Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes. Is that good? Anyway, okay. If I'm lining up, fuck, man.
And you know what they can do. So you have the list of their career stats. So you're like, damn, they can do all this. But you also see what the potential of you working with them is.
I think that's such a tough question because, like, my logic why I picked, I can't remember what we just were debating when my brain's fucking fried today. But like, I just picked the dude. I picked Ramsey because he's the dude, right? So in theory,
Sherman
Sherman, because he's the dude, right? You're like, okay, I'm picking him because he's the dude. But like, is Terrell Owens more of a fucking dude than Jerry Rice? I don't fucking know.
He would cry for you.
Yeah, I don't. That's my quarterback.
For me, I'm picking Rice because of what he's done, but that's also me going, oh, I'm picking a guy that I'm looking at the stats and like Terrell Owens might be a better freak, but there's something about that guy. But the flip side of it all, genuinely, is that Dre said, ha ha ha, Josh. That was funny. I don't think there's a scenario I can list a top 5 receivers and not have Jerry Rice at 1. I think it's disrespectful to the craft and the art.
Yeah, I think at that point you're just like you're saying who your favorite is. If you're not saying
you're saying in a vacuum athletically, Moss and T.O. are more athletic than Rice, which is fine, but also like Antonio Brown is arguably, and Greg, cover your ears, Antonio Brown is arguably a better receiver than Larry Fitzgerald.
Right. Or Hines Ward
Well, yes, I wouldn't even put.
I know.
Tell me, Greg, do you disagree?
Hard. Hines Ward's my guy.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. What?
Good bit.
Antonio Brown is arguably a better wide receiver at his absolute peak than Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, that means I'm right.
AB cooked guys. AB cooked guys. Larry never cooked guys. Larry would just run past them, but he would never cook a guy like AB.
Larry Fitzgerald probably had the best hands I've ever seen, but Antonio Brown just absolutely knew how to butcher guys in the secondary.
You know, that's an interesting thought. I'm back on Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens.
I apologize. Yeah.
Could T.O. run a route?
Outlandish.
Like, could T.O. like cook a guy on a route? Or was he just bigger than everybody?
That's a really good question.
I mean, T.O. like physically was just so good at just bullying guys.
Right.
At the point of attack.
And he could run.
He could run, yes. I think that there's something to be said that he probably did have. I would say that he knew how to be a good route runner, Josh.
But,
I'm not gonna discredit the guy.
But we're not talking like.
But he didn't need to. I think that's the point. Like he could just there are guys when you talk about guys who are just excellent route runners, it's usually because they're not like the most physically gifted guys, so they have to be smarter. Like T.O. never had to be that. T.O. just like was bigger than you, stronger than you, and could like just run past you. But which there's nothing wrong with.
Here's
my quarterback.
So here's where I'm going, is that I'm taking Jerry Rice because Jerry Rice could not only run a fucking route, but he could just run by you.
What was his 40 time?
That's a great question.
Oh, I don't know.
Jerry.
But let's also keep by the way,
that's really not that fast. For a wide receiver, that's borderline
Tito
slow.
runs a 4.4 today.
Yeah. From his couch after he ate McDonald's, he gets up, boom, and he's gone.
No, that's Chad Ochocinco who eats McDonald's.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're right.
But actually, Deke, what made me think of this, by the way, the last time T.O. and Jerry Rice were on the field together for the same time, it was Jerry Rice's last game as a Niner, and I also think that's the game that T.O. broke like the all-time receptions record in a game because he had like 20 receptions in that game.
Deion Sanders ran a 4.27.
I thought Brandon Marshall had the receptions record in the game. Brandon Marshall 21, but that was 09. Okay,
he broke it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Twice.
Yeah,
with two different quarterbacks.
Right. T.O. was in 2000. Bro, Brandon Marshall, an underrated addition to the top 10 quarterback list. Like that dude.
Wide receiver list.
Wide receiver list.
Wide receiver list. That dude was fucking different.
And that dude was different in an era where there was a bunch of different dudes and a bunch of different dudes who had great quarterbacks. He's out there doing it with fucking Brock
Jay
fucking
Cutler.
Osweiler and Jay Cutler. Like, what are we talking about?
He had Ryan Fitzpatrick in New York with Eric Decker, and they both broke 1,000 yards. But 1 year in fantasy, I had Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, Jay Cutler, and Martellus Bennett, and I got second. Because it was because of garbage time.
Yeah.
They would get down by 40.
Oh, Jay
and I'd
Cutler's
sit
the king of garbage time.
But I would sit at the bar and I'd be down by 20 and they'd be down by 40 and everyone would be talking shit. I'm like, dude, just wait. And they do it. It was unbelievable. They wouldn't win the game. We're not assholes, but
No, but king of garbage time is a very real thing. Absolutely.
Hey, just real quick. I'm back on the Lamar thing real quick. Are you threatened by his arm?
Yeah.
And I know that this is a flawed stat because obviously Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are 0.1 apart from each other in this, but Lamar's completion percentage last year was 62.3. That leaves him at 24th. Above him, Kenny Pickett. Above him, Josh Allen. Below him, Carson Wentz and Tyler Heineke.
Okay. Do you got more?
I just think it's really interesting, right? Because like I don't think of Lamar as being like this gifted throwing quarterback, and like that particular stat backs that up. But then when you look like who's around him, like you don't think of Kenny as anything other than a passing quarterback. Josh Allen is nothing. If nothing, has the best fucking cannon in the league. Carson Wentz you think of as being like pretty cerebral, even though he sucks. You know, it's just kind of like really interesting where that lands him and that like idea like he can't complete a pass kind of situation.
So Lamar his rushing yards to passing yards is obviously hysterical.
Right.
Like it's just a very different stat. So for example, in his second year, which he won unanimous MVP in 2019, I believe.
Right.
He rushed for 1,200 yards and threw for 3,100. The next year, he rushed for 1,000 yards and threw for 27. The next year, 767 and 27. The next year, 7 and 28. The next year, 7 again and 2,000. So the only real premier year with his arm, he somewhat barely broke because he only played 15 games in 19. His MVP season, he broke 3K yards. Lamar did not throw for 3K yards the past 2 seasons. Keep in mind, though, he only played 12 games. So in 12 out of 16 games, he threw for 28 and 22. He also rushed for kind of career lows there. Well, I guess his rookie year. But the point here is, does his arm scare you in that department? No. Where it does scare me, though, rookie year, he threw for 6 touchdowns. MVP year, he threw for 36 touchdowns. 2020, 26 touchdowns. 21, 16 touchdowns. Last year, 17 touchdowns. Where his arm does scare me is where Mark Andrews can score a touchdown.
Yeah. I was just thinking
not,
that.
I don't think Andrews didn't even play this week. Yeah. That's something to even.
Nope.
That's
And
something
if
else
Mark
to think
Andrews is on the field and healthy, Lamar's arm scares me.
Man, is he might be one of the most underrated players in the fucking league.
about. Andrews.
Andrews or Lamar?
Andrews.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, you want to jerk off Kittle and Kelsey every fucking week. Oh, look how good he is. And then like Mark Andrews just over here. Like how many touchdowns did Mark Andrews have last year?
Probably a shit ton.
Probably a fuck ton.
I would say, Josh, in terms of fantasy, he's not underrated because I think everyone knows that like Mark Andrews is a top 3 tight end in fantasy. But in terms of like the overall league, if we're talking that route, sure, I could definitely say that he's underrated in that regard.
5 tutties.
Tracks.
Mm-hmm. But the receptions had to have been like pretty high, I'd imagine.
73. Not that high. Not that high.
It's a great day.
Anyway, fascinating.
Yeah. I'm scared of his arm, Greg. Fuck you.
Okay.
I would say that as a quarterback, yes, he scares me. His arm is not the most dangerous thing, in my opinion, that worries me about him.
Well,
And I'll leave it
yeah.
at that.
I mean, hear me out. Jaws' teeth are the scariest thing about it, but you know what else is scary? Just imagine Jaws landing on you on a boat. Like, I'm so scared of it. Just because it's not the most terrifying part of Jaws doesn't mean I'm not scared of it.
It's a big fucking fish that would crush me in that case.
Let's do a draft.
Okay.
Do it.
I want to see. I'm trying to. Receiving touchdowns.
I would like to do a draft if you guys are cool with that. I know that I just said
That's
let's
fine.
do a draft and everyone said okay, but I never asked.
George
All right,
Kittle.
bud.
Yeah.
We
I know.
we
Well,
enjoy
I
drafts.
wasn't really talking to you, Greg. Greg, can
Cole
we get an
Kmet
update on-
had more touchdowns than Mark Andrews last year. That's fucked up. Anyway, okay.
Mark Andrews was out the whole year. I thought Isaiah Likely season. Greg, what is your battery percentage at?
Oh, good question.
61.
He
Damn.
has it plugged in. He has it plugged in. I don't trust him.
I do have it plugged in. I plugged it in when you guys went to the bathroom.
Okay. What was it? Do you remember like roughly what it was at was it 53?
Yeah, it was like 53, 52.
Mm.
So right now it would have been 48, give or take. Still pretty good.
Something like-
Still really
something like
good.
that,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Greg.
Yeah.
The football
do you
players
guys-
are running.
So excited. Do you guys have
Yeah,
a dying draft concept for tonight? Because I have a thought.
What is your thought?
Well, I have one that can be proven.
Okay.
Drafting the best single season fantasy football performance in PPR fantasy leagues.
Of all time?
Jesus
Basically.
Christ. So I have to know the year and the player.
No. You pick the player.
Mhm.
But the thing is, if they just had, I don't even know if this is an available list.
Yeah,
Let's do
I don't
this
know.
next week when
Yeah.
when I can actually find data points. NBA
Okay.
Rigged joins with 3 minutes
What's
left.
up, dude?
What up? Yes, I caught you guys just in time. Cheers. What's
Cool.
up? Actually, NBA, we're extending the
What's up,
show. 'Cause
NBA?
I wanted to do a draft. Josh, I will send you information for that next week. That's what I want to do. Though.
Okay,
No
okay.
Googling, Greg.
All right.
Deal. Well, I mean, I'm
Okay.
using my phone, so I can't really Google at the moment. So
No.
I'm
Up
blind.
in, like
Oh, you could
till
prop
next week.
open that fucking stone tablet you call a Chromebook and try
all
to
7
Google
of
on
your
that.
laptops. Yeah.
I could, but actually, the Chromebook is underneath the phone as like.
Do you get
a
like
balance.
doctors for free? Is
that
that HIPAA?
that is HIPAA, so I will
Okay.
not go there. Yeah.
Oh, you do. Oh, that's cool.
No, he doesn't get doctors for free. Okay.
works
So
for
I
Hyatt.
ran the running backs on the drafts thing.
Oh, I thought it was for order.
No, I ran this for the draft, like which draft we do.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna really like which one won.
What was anti-draft again, guys?
Anti-draft is where somebody has to go away, and then the other two get to pick the
Oh,
category.
that's a.
And
oh,
Greg
that one
tries to
sucks.
draft. Greg drafts.
Didn't I get it?
You got
You
it
got
right
it-
away.
You,
yeah. And
yeah,
then-
you got it within like our first 2 picks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys gave they were really good clues, but they're
Right.
too good.
And then Greg had to draft celebrity or actors he wanted on
Celebrities
his
who are in
shoulders
chicken
and a chicken fight.
Yeah, that was amazing. Josh and I were just like, oh, let's do Blink 182 songs and then pick the ones
Yeah.
that he probably won't know. And
Yeah.
you got it right away.
Yeah, you said like
Get it
"Damn
right
it" and
away.
"Girl at the Rock Show." I was like, oh
No,
man.
I said San Diego. And
I think it was
like,
Aliens
that's- yeah.
Exist was the thing
Yes.
that got you. You're
Yes.
like, yeah,
Ah.
duh.
But no, yeah, chicken fight celebrities may have been too niche.
That was
I will
so
give you that.
funny though. I
no, it was
peeing my
still fun.
pants.
It was fun, hell.
And
It was
then-
fun as
very-
hell.
And then
Oh.
Greg picks Florence Pugh, who then would like proceed to blow up over the next calendar year to become
Oh,
like
she's even then. I was-
maximum
You
woman of the year and
shut up.
shit. Like it's
You
so funny.
even
shut
then,
up.
she was one of my favorite people. That was so
You shut up.
frustrating.
She's gorgeous.
No, that's what
still.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm
Shout
giving
out
you credit
Oppenheimer,
for being
bro.
ahead of everybody, you dick shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, you are kind
Alright,
of
cool.
being a
Okay, so
weirdo.
here's what won was spelling bee.
What's that?
So I thought it would be similar to an old school episode of Idiot Hour, where we'll go back and forth and we'll go through like 10. You two each get to pick a word, and whoever's I spell the most correctly loses.
Man. That would be fun.
What? Why are you silent?
Thinking of words. This also is not a draft.
Would you
But I would
rather
be-
do a draft? Because the second place one was periodic elements.
I
Oh
don't,
no.
no, we're not winning it. We're not winning it that way. I want to do a very.
We're not
very
winning
short,
it that way.
We're not winning it that way. I want to do a very short, simple draft of something that we all love.
Okay, top three.
Because I
top,
respect.
top 5 vessels to drink beer out of.
Mm.
Ooh, it's not a bad one. though.
That was number 3. That's why I'm like I'm
No,
looking at
I'm
this
saying
list.
ignore the list. Ignore the list. Here's why.
Oh, okay. All
that
right.
list deserves more respect than a quick 10-minute draft.
Okay.
Mhm.
I respect you for doing that.
Okay. All
Top
right.
5 vessels, man. Fuck.
Like, is boot 1-1 there? It's got to be 1-1, right? Like, all right.
No, it's Greg's mom's
Dog food.
mouth.
Dog food. Wow.
I can't believe you just
Greg.
fucking dunked
Wow.
on Greg.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Poor Greg's mom. She's a nurse.
She's a nice lady.
She nursed at
Yes.
Mercy.
She nursed him.
Ah,
That
was
was-
still my
this is a
favorite.
recurring- the
Honestly, though,
recurring
Greg,
theme.
that was one of the funniest things ever.
So funny.
That's fair.
She
Yeah,
was
my
nursing.
mom nursed at Mercy. What did she?
She was nursing the whole time. It's like,
That's right.
okay, yeah.
All right.
that's
Well,
fair.
what's your draft? You want to do the
I love the
anti-draft?
mothers.
Is that what you want to do?
Don't yell at me.
Okay, I'm yelling anyway.
I would like to draft. Ooh.
Okay.
We're drafting emo bands, and if it's not on that website, it doesn't count.
Oh, love it. All right.
Oh no! Oh
Okay.
no!
So we
Is
don't look
this
instantly. We do
band
the whole.
emo?
Yep. We do the whole
Fuck.
draft, and then we look.
Oh, okay. So we're doing it
oh.
after. Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
100%.
this is-
So it's.
This is the website for those of you who may not be familiar, because we actually have people watching today, which is great.
I thought of that right then and there. You guys are so
That
lucky to
is
be my
so-
friends.
Oh, I'm so happy. This is great. This is gonna be amazing.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. This site is the unofficial official determination if a band is emo or not. And so we use this
Why don't you
after
explain
we
it?
draft 15 bands that we believe are of the emo persuasion. That's
Mhm.
the gameplay.
It is, and it's cutthroat to say the least. I know of at least one band that has technically been given like the absolute A-OK from this site,
Sure.
and everything else has just been like dunked on.
So this is the list as far as the order: Deke, Greg, Josh.
Okay.
And I vote that we go back to the top because that seems to be the way to do this. You know what I mean?
I like it.
That
yeah,
makes the
that's
most
a
sense.
complete-
No snake.
Completely fair.
All right.
What really sucks here, Josh, is that I wish I could revert back to your previous like ranking or previous like music category designation with regards to what is considered what, because I think this would have been a good cheat sheet to some degree. But I also think your list and the website probably clash to a
They
degree.
definitely do clash. Not as much as you would think. I think I don't think that there is a thoughts from thebench.com and everybody can see what I'm doing, so that's great. Okay. I'm just going to put emo into the search bar on the blog and see what comes up. Oh, a Great Depression. Weird. Oh, another Great Depression. National Pokemon Day. The Browns are an
Oh, man.
emotional roller coaster.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Winona, Great Big Room. I don't see that we ever wrote.
Oh, sorry, guys.
I don't
thought
think
you did I thought you did the category one on the site. I guess not.
if I do. Let's
I'm
put
trying to
emo
remember when
band.
Josh did, because I thought Josh did like a cheat sheet once where he like described
10
what
punk
bands,
bands
were
of
part
pop punk.
Mm.
No, I mean
not
honestly,
emo.
no offense to Josh, that probably would have been Moorhead.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he,
Yeah, but
He was our
no,
best
but Josh has also done one previously where he's like specifically categorized specific bands into their
well,
own.
hold on, I don't want to
genres.
What
be
is
looking at
this?
this.
Well, no, like we were having the conversation
But
because
no,
like
but the
I
fact
thought-
that even
Deke,
Josh
what
is
is-
looking at it,
Deke, what is this Washington Redskins graphic?
I
It's
don't
a
want to look at the
potato.
screen. Oh, that's the Washington Redskins. No, I'm saying, Greg,
That's
even
so
reliving
funny.
this article is
I was
Oh,
talking
I
about
see
how
what
I
undermining the
wish-
entire draft.
I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I kind of wish I had that as a cheat sheet because it's a good one. But he was saying it actually conflicted the site between his actual like opinion, so it might not work out well.
Greg said
Listen,
all of that. I didn't say any of that.
But Josh and
Yeah.
I just both looked at it.
No, there wasn't one on here though. Is what I never
But
wrote
that's
that.
the point. Is I just watched like a bunch of bands that I would have picked album
Oh.
covers.
Well, that doesn't mean that they're not emo.
But
Just
you
because
just
I
said they-
labeled them as pop punk.
I thought you just said none of the ones on there, or none of the ones you labeled emo were emo.
That's what
Walk
Greg's
me through that
saying.
one
Is that Greg's saying that if I had created an emo list, that it would clash with the site because, as we know, the site is
Yeah.
notoriously tough.
I'm
So-
accusing Greg of making us think of that list and looking at the
Oh,
album
okay.
covers.
That's
true.
true. That
Yes,
happened. That's
like,
true.
I
That
just-
happened.
Are you
I just looked
accused-
at like 10 bands now. and
That
I'm like,
happened.
it's-
Hey, hang on. Organic conversation. Are you saying that I backhandedly
yes.
tried to screw you from
Organic
potentially
discussion.
winning this draft? Okay.
Organic discussion. I'm saying that I just wish I could go to the bathroom without you guys ruining one of the best drafts I ever came up with in that moment.
Organic discussion. I sincerely did not mean to do that. My
Organic discussion.
apologies.
You see how you. We can do it.
Most
I just
of-
like I walked away for like a minute, and you guys are looking at bands that are on
I haven't-
Josh's
I
blog
can't
about
see.
emo bands.
I can't
like,
see it.
But
I
this
can't
is,
see it.
Greg, this is like organic discussion. This is like me saying let's pick our favorite players from the 1999 draft.
we're
and
just
you
like,
going,
who's in the
"Hey,
90
Josh,
draft? Yeah.
Didn't you blog about the 99 best draft?" And we go and you look, that is the same thing. Organic discussion.
Okay.
Organic discussion, that is completely fair.
So fucking wrong.
hmm
Okay. Here's the draft
So I-
order. Derek, Greg, Josh. We start from the top because the
Okay,
snake
we're good.
feels dumb. Okay. 3-person draft board. Derek.
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance 1-1, of course. Why not?
That was not one of the album covers. I just feel like
Oh
they're
no,
the
that
most crimey
that'd
river.
be anyone's 1-1 in fairness.
Good.
So yeah,
You call it the Black Parade. I watched the music video.
yeah.
Okay.
Organic
Is
discussion.
this band emo draft? That's a boner of a title right there. Greg, you're up.
This is one of the bands I know for a fact will be considered emo in that list on that website. Taking Back Sunday.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against you. I feel like I'm trying to go through. So outside of the blog, obviously we've looked at this site and we've
Yeah.
talked about this site.
Yes,
And
I
I
do not remember most of them, but
No,
that
me
is
neither.
one- but that
I
is
just
one
remember
specifically
all
remember.
the bands that I had heard of weren't. And that's where I felt. I was like, I don't know shit about Dick.
Okay.
Josh?
Brand new.
Okay. Okay.
What's brand new? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I love
the
you.
game, the band, the song.
Band. You're up.
Okay.
Derek's gonna get dunked on. I feel.
I feel like too. Give me Hawthorne Heights.
I think that's a
Oh,
good
that
one.
would be one.
Okay.
That was a good one. That was one I was thinking of. Yeah.
I
that
wanna
was good.
I wanna cry a lot.
I think that
wanna-
one might be in there.
I want to talk about a
Mhm.
girl I dated in 7th grade. Yeah. That's
Mhm.
yeah,
I
get me
can't
in there.
make it.
Hawthorne
I was
Heights.
trying to explain this to somebody the other day at work that like
Yeah.
everyone knows, like when you go to see Hawthorne Heights, everyone's in on it. Everyone knows what we're here for.
Yep.
Everyone's waiting for the same thing. Even the band is like, guys, like 3 more songs, then we're gonna play Ohio is for Lifers. And everyone's
Yep.
like, no, it's fine. We'll be patient.
Take,
Like,
take your time. Take your time. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
awesome.
I didn't know you had so many songs. Take your
Yeah,
time.
no,
Yeah.
this is amazing. You guys
Yeah.
have been
No, we'll,
still
we'll
making
enjoy
music.
ourselves. Don't worry, we're good.
No, this is awesome.
Greg,
This one might be a little bit of a throwback, but I think they would definitely count. Boys Like Girls.
ooh, they're very poppy.
I think they would be emo, like when they first came out, though.
We'll find out. Bayside is mine. Derek.
Bayside?
Mhm.
They did a cover of a song once.
Yeah,
Or somebody covered their song once.
they have multiple cover albums, so
Oh, they do cover. Oh. I thought they were on like a Pop Goes something or whatever.
they were on one of those too.
What'd they sing in there? It wasn't Flagpole Sitta, was it?
No, Bayside, Punk Goes Pop.
They had a really good one.
Beautiful Girls. Sean Kingston.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Mm.
All right, emo band.
I also did Billy Joel Moving Out, which is pretty song slaps.
Census fail.
That's a great pick, Derek.
I played Can't Be Saved today on Guitar Hero during my lunch break at work.
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't you? Okay. Census
Yeah,
fails.
it's called
Good one.
Clone Hero, and it's just the best.
Okay. Greg.
Might end up being a little too hard, but I think I'm gonna go Amity Affliction.
Amity Affliction. Damn.
I mean, Pittsburgh is literally about him having a stroke on stage. So
Amity Affliction. That's pretty emo sounding. Bright Eyes is my third pick. Only bands that start with B. I did not mean to
Yeah.
do it that way, but
yeah,
that's just how it works, I guess.
I'm noticing a trend.
Derek?
I don't like any of your picks. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Which means they're probably emo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. I need more sad boy songs.
Oh, man.
I want to feel like bad about myself.
Yeah.
Who had? No, they're punk. They're my favorite band, but they're punk.
Rise Against?
No, well, that's my actual favorite. This was my favorite band growing up of like this
Oh,
era.
okay.
Rise Against, though, I would say is probably my favorite band all time, outside of the bands Chip and Marsha have shown me. Emo.
I would have gone Ice Nine Kills, but
No, I mean, dude, I was obsessed with them. And are they
Mhm.
emo? Maybe, Greg. Maybe. I'd say screamo. I love Ice Nine Kills though. Their early stuff was so good. Give me, I'm sorry, Seosin.
Yes.
Ooh.
Is it Soasin?
Ooh.
Seosin?
Sayison, you had it right.
Okay, cool.
I think
I just remember the Beetle.
I don't know that this is gonna land for you, but the poll.
I don't think it will,
It's always
but-
about the poll. It's
Yeah.
always about the poll.
Voices is a great song.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh, Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown.
I'm trying to think of anyone that has done like a collab with Your Broken Hero or like the emo YouTube show I watch. I don't think this will count, but like they could, like maybe in some sense. I'm gonna go Yellow Card.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's pop punk, bud. But that's a good.
Yeah.
I don't hate the try here. I feel like they're too happy for the website.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
I mean, one of the best ever.
Mhm.
I'm
I
gonna.
remember my
do,
cousin got
go
Nico.
ahead.
I'm sorry, Nico got a CD from our cousin of Yellow Card, and she was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, they're an amazing band." And I was like, "They'd be way harder if they were Red Card." And that was probably my first ever terrible joke. At
That
the
was
age
my
of
first ever
probably
terrible
10.
soccer joke.
Yeah, no, I was like, they should be way cooler if they're Red Card. Sorry, Josh.
Okay. I'm going with Thrice.
Okay, I like that.
I feel like these are all bands Josh was in or something, Greg. I don't. I'll take the LSAS experience.
Derek? Last pick.
Give me. I got two that I want to take, but I don't feel good about them. So I'm trying to think of dudes that straighten their hair.
That's kind of the way to go.
I mean, here we are. It's kind
not
of the thing.
wrong. Not wrong.
You took them. I don't feel good about it, but give me Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
I think that's good.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a very
No.
good one.
Like I think they
very good
toe the
one.
line, but I could push them over to emo.
They were because they walked a really weird line because they showed up early, like when Nickelback and shit were still running around. But they definitely had that. I mean, like I'm just looking at a picture of them right now, and this guy's got a V-neck and a beanie on, and I'm like, yeah, that could be it.
Well, and the other side of it is like the first song I heard of this, they're like, "Hey, do you like getting beat by your boyfriend?" And like
Yeah.
it was a very weird. I was like, lyrics. the words they sing,
Sometimes it matters.
they mean stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was like, do you know what the song Hook means? And I was like, fuck no. I said, Blues Travelers, man.
He will at some point.
Maybe not.
Greg, last pick.
If their music wasn't so heavy, I would absolutely pick Motionless in White, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's metal.
I've
Yeah,
never
I
heard
know.
of that sentence before ever.
As an ode to my brother, I don't think this will count, but I'll just do it just for the sake of it. Give me Chiodos.
Ooh.
I
Baby,
don't
We're
know,
Less Than Men Down by the
buddy.
River is the only song I know by them ever.
I think that is probably closer than you think it is.
I do wish there was like a percentile.
Hang
That
on,
would be
I
funny.
don't think I'm spelling Chiodos right.
Chiodos.
Yes, exactly.
Chiodos.
B, you would have been good
Yes.
at spelling B. Come on.
Oh, I love spelling.
No, the spelling bee is just for me, Greg. You
Yeah.
guys pick words and
We
then
pick words,
I look
which is
dumb.
very funny, but I want more time.
Okay, that's fine. My
Every time
final
I think
pick.
Of spelling bee, every time I think of spelling bee, I think of 25th annual Putnam County spelling bee.
Such a
What?
weird
fuck
pull
was
that no one
that?
understands, and you cut Josh off.
Sorry,
What's that
it's-
from?
It's a musical that I remember seeing in college. So
What's it called?
the 25th annual Putnam County spelling bee. Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm
I
going
believe
with
it's-
it.
I think
25th
it's the spelling bee.
annual.
I think it's just
No, it
spelling
is.
bee.
It is. It's just what a wild pull to cut Josh off on
I
his
just
last pick
immediately
of the
thought
draft.
of it. I don't know why. It just popped in my head.
No, it's I'm with you, man. It's it's a thing. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
When did you see this in college?
I had to see it for like a class or something. I just remember it was one of the.
Was it after I left? I would have gone with you.
I think it was my
I
junior.
would have gone with you too.
It was my
Okay, then.
junior year. It was my junior year, so I think it was the year after you left. Yeah,
Okay. Josh, your last pick?
probably.
Where do we go from here? Can we even go back to the draft after this has been introduced?
We have one more. You have one
I have
more.
to know what this is
Well, yeah, you
about.
cut it off to introduce us into the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
God dang. All right, Anne Berlin is my final pick.
Ooh. I saw
Okay.
their album and I couldn't think of their name.
I picked bands. This was my
That's the only one I
strategy.
know.
I picked bands that my really emo friends listened to that scared the shit out of me. That was the
Ah,
list that I pulled
smart
from.
Oh, I
play.
love Anne Berlin.
Smart play.
Yeah.
No, Jesus Lord in heaven. Good Charlotte was my favorite band before
Good
Rise
Charlotte
Against.
would have been, I think, a good
But I
one.
didn't know. I don't feel like they're emo. I felt like they were more punk. Who was the one that sang Serenade Hand Grenade or whatever?
Secondhand Serenade.
Yeah, who the fuck is that? The band? I thought about them too.
I don't know what this
I don't know if that's the band or the song name actually.
Second Hand Serenade.
No. Fall for You is the song. Second Serenade. It was
It
one
is a
guy.
band. It's a
It
rock
was
band.
One.
Yep.
Okay. Rock,
Fall for
then I'm
You.
glad I
Twist
picked-
my story.
Okay.
Twist my story.
This was like Josh. This was Imagine Hawthorne Heights, but one guy and an acoustic guitar.
Oh, I thought that was Never Shout Never.
That was a ukulele,
That's true.
Mm.
and I
True.
loved it.
And it was a
Oh.
little later, but it was a vibe. Yeah. Okay. Everybody ready to play? Is this band emo? Oh,
How's,
predictions.
I
How many you think you
Mm.
got?
5.
He's going 5 for 5. All right. Fuck yeah.
Hey, you guys said they were all really good picks. though.
No, I'm saying 1.5. I know one for sure, but I'm gonna say like the site does something bullshit where it says this could be emo, but we're not.
How do you
gonna
know one
veer
for
that
sure?
way. Because I feel like Taking Back Sunday is definitely one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
I got 4 for 5. I'm sure one of these bands is not, but I'd like to.
Yep.
hope.
All right. Well, it's crazy.
right.
You both lost this round, so let's get
Go
to round
through
2.
Go
Okay.
through it, bud.
Let me pull this up. Full screen. Go. All right. Derek, your first band, My Chemical Romance. Is this band emo? Is not an emo band. Unlike high school, emo has a history longer than 4 years. Ugh.
Wow, that's some
That's
bullshit.
one not true.
Well,
That's,
not-
that's an
just
that's an
arguably
emo
not
thing.
true.
Emo thing to say. 2 dumb.
Okay, that's fine. Greg, Taking Back Sunday. Taking Back Sunday is an emo band. I can
Yep.
see you
Huzzah!
shaking your head. It's okay. Edit. Oh, there's an edit. If you are thinking about using this band name as a pun for your DJ brunch karaoke night, please reconsider. Okay.
I would
I
like
am
to
not considering it, so I'm
I-
good.
let the record show that we don't know what Greg is doing on his 2 laptops right now.
That's
so
true.
It could be.
Well, we
I
do
mean,
know what he's doing on his corporate issued laptop.
Work.
Nothing. Yeah.
Derek and I were so in sync on that. It was
That's
scary.
a high mark. Yeah.
Oh, it was a high mark. Okay.
Ah,
Brand new is an emo band. The Radiohead of emo.
ah.
Suckers. All right. Derek's back up. Hawthorne Heights. Hawthorne Heights. Hawthorne Heights is not an emo band. I feel bad, but yes, no.
Oh, I'll take it.
Okay. All right.
I wonder. Yeah, the I feel bad is a little misingenuous, but I'll take it.
Right, right. Boys Like Girls. Greg
Yeah, they do.
is not an emo band.
Thank God.
And it's such a bad pick, you didn't even get a snarky quip about it.
I wouldn't
Damn.
have called them emo, Greg, in my defense, but I only know one album by them.
Can I, in
Gr-
fairness,
The Great
in
Escape
fairness,
album.
I'm
yeah.
going to. In fairness, I'm going to a concert in October, and it's by Emo Night Presents, and they're the headliners. So that's part of
That's
the reason
funny.
why.
Tell them if you meet them.
Again,
I
I've
know.
been-
I will. You're not emo. Yeah.
emo is a genre and also a period of time. Bayside is an emo band.
Yeah,
Bayside is
that one
also
I felt
hardcore and
like-
punk.
Wait, what?
That's what the little funny quip said. Bayside
Yeah.
is also hardcore and
Damn.
punk.
Why not just make it jazz? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, why not? All right, Derek, I think this one's going to be your first hit. Senses Fail.
Oh, come on. I
Is
feel like
not
it's
an
not.
emo man.
Yeah. They
It even
hate
says close but no cigar. I'm giving
That's-
you a 0.5.
I feel like
Mm.
all of mine have said
Yeah.
like last one said I wish but no. Like, well, what
Alright.
what do you mean? You decide,
Yeah,
website.
you do just
Like, you
website. We
pick.
hold you in high regards.
Yeah,
What
like
are you
I don't
doing?
understand what is it missing if you think oh it is but it isn't. Okay, well what? All right,
Yeah, like what is that last piece that you need? That's kind of
this is
bullshit
because
that
you
they're
guys went
telling
over the blog when I was in the bathroom.
That's probably true.
you.
Greg, Amity Affliction is not an emo band. It is a metal band.
All right, I tried.
All right, Josh. Bright Eyes is an emo band. Bright Eyes also an indie band.
Hmm.
Cleaning up. All right. Derek Seosin. I don't think this is gonna land for you, but
I mean, if
like
the others
it.
didn't, fuck no, it didn't.
Seosin is an emo band.
Wow!
Hey!
This is such a stupid game.
Wow! Unbelievable.
All right.
Does it just say it's an emo band? Like it didn't have like any
Nope.
smart comment?
Nope.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yellow Card is not an emo band. I hope to never end up on Ocean Avenue. Also, Electric Violin. Okay. Sorry, Greg.
That's okay. I'll take the electric violin comment any day.
Thrice is an emo band. Okay. I
Damn,
might
you
go
were
5
cleaning
for
up.
5. Yeah. Okay. Derek, red jumpsuit apparatus.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
think this is. I think you have to get this one.
You think? I'd be
I think you
forward.
get it. Yeah. I feel like you will.
Is not an emo band.
Ah.
I think I'll stay in the plane and land safely.
That's the most emo thing ever.
Wow.
Jumping out of a plane. All right.
Wow.
Greg took Chiodos. Is not an emo band.
Ah.
Who's taking care of Craig's Porsche? Oh my God, I need to have his coffee. Chiodos, the best cheesy corn puffs ever. Ready
Wow.
to Jesus, this first day sucks. Okay, they don't like Chiodos on this website.
I have
No,
the
That's
best
what I
comment.
Jesus,
I
yeah,
have the
that's-
best comment easily.
But that yeah, you did, but that was also like 4 sentences. That's the
Yeah.
most they've done for anybody.
Yeah. And my
Yeah.
final one, Amberlyn is an emo band.
You cleared up. Good for you.
Oh wow, Chiodos had a meme.
Yeah, so does Amberlyn. It says Amberlyn question mark? It's in Germany. Jesus told
Love
me
it.
to. Okay.
See, that was a fun little draft.
That was a good one.
Mm, that was very good.
Next week we do spelling bees though.
Oh, by the way, Derek, you came in second with a solid 2 because you had 2.5s and a 1, and Greg only had 1. So you finished second.
Yeah, I will take that.
There you go.
Suck it.
Finished under
Nerd.
what I expected.
Elder emo.
Worthless.
All right, let's go to bed.
All right. It's probably time.
Thank you guys both. This was an awesome episode, and we just talked kind of football and tossed some softball, other dork ass sports to you guys. So
Which sounds like what it'll be for the next 20 week? Yeah.
I hope so. Up until the draft, of course.
Eric Carlson wearing black and gold gives me a boner. That's all.
Yeah, if he tries to stand up, his desk will knock.
Yeah, I love tennis too, Josh.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys.
Al Toko!
Great, thanks for hanging out. NBA, good to see you, buddy. We will catch you guys next week on Thoughts from the Bench.
No.